Are you an artist? Are you an artist? Are you an artist who has spent a great deal of time on your music?
Doing your best to get every take just right?
Then why not have someone who has spent a great deal of time in mixology?
Modi Daja is a mixologist,
mix and recording engineer,
mixmaster and producer.
However you want to put it, he has the
perfect and proper mix. Perfect and proper mix for your works.
Online mixing is our specialty.
Online mix.
Send your files from anywhere in the world.
Get your mix on a positive journey.
Find Positive Journey on Facebook or give us a call
at 226-678-4557. That's 226-678-4557.
Send your files from anywhere in the world.
PositiveJourney@KingdomNubia.com. Check the website, KingdomNubia.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Conscious Partners Network. We are Rockers Corner Radio,
alive.
Reggae Wave Radio,
alive.
Stockade Radio,
alive.
Tornado Radio,
alive.
Kingdom Nubia Radio,
alive.
E2ON Radio,
alive.
Afro-Carib Radio,
alive.
We are raising the awareness of artists across the globe.
Alive.
Stockade Radio to the universe.
You're listening to the People's Station. Stockade Radio, a division of Stockade Promotions.
To the universe.
A proud member station of the Conscious Partners Network.
The scientist rids the world of the intergalactic vampires killers. Genius scientist Rusty Steele is in his lab, busy sampling his newest invention, a hybrid plant grown on planet Mars he has dubbed Jolly Green Giant that makes everyone who partakes of it filled with love. A folder labeled Top Secret SOS races down a pipe, dropping on the table. For years, the intergalactic vampire has been injecting drugs into the hearts of innocent people. Standing in the way of this evil vampire is a single brave soul, the scientist. The scientist brings nothing more to the table than love of mankind and a talent for reggae beats. But these tools are more deadly than they appear. Some may say that mere humans cannot possibly defeat intergalactic vampires, but with a little creativity and a lot of hard work, the dream that the scientist rids the world of evil just might come true. This adventure is explored in the Scientist Reggae album, a music collection containing a story like no other. In the Scientist album, listeners learn of such evil creatures as the intergalactic vampire witch, the intergalactic wolf and intergalactic Frankenstein. These terrifying creatures are often intergalactic vampires.
We're here, I'm here.
It is up to the scientist to use their musical powers to make the world safe once more. Fortunately, this is not a mission that the scientist needs to take all on his own. Along the way, he will be able to snatch up several crewmates, each with their own unique power.
So you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Reggae Biz Talk Show. I'm General Culture.
Bass guitar serves as an effective weapon against evil. Michigan and Smiley.
And what a show this is. I'm telling you.
Surrounding biological warfare that hit them with diseases. They are often joined by...
I want to bless up Mr. Busby for an awesome show every single Sunday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. GMT time.
Teams up with style.
Rump on Sundays.
The top-notch intergalactic vampire killer. Josie Wales serves as the radar jammer.
So once again, the Reggae Biz Talk Show is to arm you, the artist, with so much information.
Also known as Wild Apache, consistently displays great talent when
bringing you the best in the business, the best individuals in the business, talking about the scientists. Gonna bless up Fitzroy Francis. Gonna bless up Dobby Doo, Christopher Hills, Roddy Campbell, Lady General.
Meanwhile, reaching out as diplomats.
Greetings, my brethren and sistrins. Everybody there.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh,
yeah, man.
My crackling.
Here live and direct.
All right, let's take it in order. Who can I see first? Lady General.
Present, sir.
Roddy Campbell.
Baby.
Is Roddy Campbell there? Oh, well. I know that laugh a
Present.
mile away. Christopher Hills.
Present, sir.
Aye. The scientist.
Present. Schoolmaster. Present.
Fitzroy Francis, Commander in Chief.
I am right here, present.
Dabby
That's what you said.
direct.
Dabby Doo there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, respect you.
Damn, you so louder than everybody. What you do? You have the thing in the air. Damn, no.
That's what they call
So am I still out there?
Ooh, wow.
Damn, yeah, you louder than everybody.
Yes.
All right, hold on.
Yes, we have everybody here, ladies and gentlemen, and do remember, this show is about arming you, the artist, with so much information to protect yourself. It's been evident that over the years, many artists have not protected themselves to this very day. Some of those who did wake up are now taking action to protect themselves, but yet there are still some people who have contributed, you know, to the reggae music industry. And it's sad when you see people like Juna Bowles and Jackie Bernard and many others who die out of poverty, you know, who have contributed greatly to this industry. The saddest thing is knowing that these guys who did contribute, who didn't make a penny, okay, their music is selling by the ton loads, millions, is making millions out there. And these guys are dying of poverty. So, you know, I'm saddened by this, okay? And this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. And at the time of interviewing the scientist, and we kind of connected, and I chose to do this show and get the scientist to host this show for various reasons, you know. I'm going to get each and everyone to introduce themselves, and pretty much this is a show which is going to take many shapes and forms, and it's important for me to explain this, okay? We're going to be inviting every other week, we're going to be inviting people to be part of the panel. If you remember the last show, Roddy Campbell as well as the scientists and W were present on the show. They are part of the panel. This week we've chosen to add Fitzroy Francis, who is an astute person in the industry as well, from Manifold 13, and Christopher Hills, who's also an astute person in the industry. So I'm going to get everybody to just very quickly introduce themselves, starting with the scientist. Could you just introduce yourself, please, to the people?
Yeah, I'm the scientist from Jamaica, dub-wise engineer, innovator. Glad to be here again.
Yes, and thank you for being here for the part 2. I want to bring in Roddy Campbell.
Yeah, Roddy Campbell here. An artist, musician, and some Stockade Radio station manager. And I am here to predominantly pay attention to Jamaica and JCAP in Jamaica, and focus on I'm primarily going to focus on the young artists coming up now, to make sure that the same mistake as you mentioned earlier, you know, about our foundation artists, you know, their lives just kind of withering out into poverty and you know, being poor, and their music is playing out there, and ton load of money is out there for them. So primarily I'm concentrating on the young artists to kind of open their mind and their intellect, to let them understand that there's another side to the music business, and it's not just the hype and the more hype.
Yeah. Thank you for being part of this show also, and for coming back on to the show.
My pleasure.
Fitzroy Francis.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Fitzroy Francis, CEO, record producer, songwriter of Mindful 13 Records. Born and grew in one of reggae music renowned dynasty Waterhouse, you know, and I take this pleasure to be here on the Stockade Radio Show, the reggae vibes
business show. Yeah.
And my emphasis will always be on intellectual property rights, you know, which I have advocated for years in the business. So that's what I'm here for.
Brilliant. Christopher Hills.
Good evening. Well, I'm Chris Hills, and in partnership with Kofi, we own a very small record label and artist management company. We work in partnership with Rachel Boss at Morefire Management so that we can also offer a range of good quality support services for other artists.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Doozer.
Yeah, most people know me by W, like I said last time, dub musician, reggae musician, mixing and stuff. Just really, I guess I focus a lot on the tubby files, you know, like fake tubbies, stuff like that, but a little bit of everything. But the main thing is the emphasis is for the artist to learn something from this show, you know.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to kick it off, okay? And I've just spoken to BB Seaton, so around about 7:30 p.m. he's going to contribute to the show. He's going to spare us something like 10-15 minutes, and it's going to be part of the show. That's going to be taking place roughly just under an hour. We'll be talking to BB Seaton. Also, I've spoken to Phil Callender out of Jamaica, so he's also going to share some experiences that he has had, and we'll just get the ball rolling. I have to apologize to Lady General. Lady General, please introduce yourself. I'm sorry, I thought I got you to do that.
No problem. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Reggae Business Talk Show. I am Lady General. I am co-CEO of Stockade Promotions and Stockade Promotions Radio, Stockade Records. I'm also a paralegal by profession and soon to be licensed real estate agent.
Sweet.
I've also built 2 sounds from the ground up, dealing with a lot of the administrative stuff, but I've also been a sound system DJ, meaning toaster DJ. And I've also been on WAVS radio out of South Florida. In the 90s, I was there for 3 years as the night nurse with my show called Music in a Different Class. I also do shows on Stockade Promotions Radio and a lot of background work.
Okay.
Big up Lady G. All the maximum respect to the smart women out there.
Yes.
Every time. Just one quick note for everybody on the panel. If you have your video on, it's disrupting the feed. So if you have your video on, if you could please
nobody's got it
turn
on.
it off.
No one's got it on, I don't think.
Yes, that would save us bandwidth. And the background noise, we can keep down the background noise, that will help.
Yeah. Okay, and like I was saying, the last show was pretty much awesome. There was so much information, you know, I was pretty much swimming in a sea of information. And I want to get this show going and get us to talk about various things. One of the things that I do want to talk about on this show before it ends, I want us to talk about Spotify and Tidal, okay? I hope I got it right, because Jay-Z's trying to set up something similar to Spotify, trying to get the artists to sign up to Tidal now, right? And I want us to reason about that just for a little while. Where do we begin, scientist?
Well, you have to introduce yourself, General.
Oh. Do I have to?
Everybody knows by osmosis.
Well, I'm General.
You so important women are.
I guess I have to introduce myself. I'm General Culture, CEO of Stockade Promotions, Stockade Records, anything Stockade, that's me. Started in the industry 1993, okay, learning the ropes and started producing from around about that time until now. Radio came into play at some point around about, let's say, 5 years ago when we... myself, Wayne Lyrics, and Tom Rice created Reggae Wave Radio, and the owner of that station is Wayne Lyrics. We kind of built it together, you know, and that's where I got the bug from. And soon after, that's when Stockade Radio was created. And we're here now, and I've, worked as an artist. I've done so much stuff. One of the reasons...
Chai?
Say that again.
Who is that? Maru Green Chai? Who is that?
Green Child.
Okay.
Not too sure.
Sorry.
Oh, no, by the way,
it's more.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, General Culture also quite humbly forget to mention that he's also an artist in his own right.
Yes, a recording artist who has several songs out there.
That's right.
I kind of do a bit of everything. I try not to limit myself, and I pretty much, one of the reasons why this radio station was built was because of the artists. I felt the artists weren't being represented in the way that they should be, which is why I decided to go into creating something called Stockade Promotions even before the radio came into play, and that theme was to raise the awareness of many artists as well as producers and many other people who are in the industry that were doing some good things, and getting people to visually see who these people were, incorporating YouTube footages or just putting their bios as part of the website. And it kind of worked a treat, so the radio came much after, and our mission is to support the artists with our communal foundation, which is highly important because, as we all know, payola simply tries to ease out those good artists who are able to perform. I've seen people whom I can mention their names who are brilliant in the industry. They can sing so great. They've got the message. Their music is out there, and they're being told that their music will never see the time of day unless you grease somebody's palm. I think that's absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Whoever is indulging in it.
Yeah, well, that's good that Stockade Radio form, but to going back on the standpoint about a question that was asked earlier about different YouTube and streaming service,
yes,
I welcome them. I welcome them just as long as the lawyers who putting together these contracts doesn't get smart. Right, doesn't involve in anything that allow the artist not to get anything, because every bit of it counts. If you can have your music on Spotify, you can have it on Jay-Z news service. All of it is just open. It's like having several different stores all across the country, all across the world. It helps.
Well, I tell you what. Let me just stop you.
Let
me just stop you for a second, yeah. And let's just dissect this as much as possible, and then I'm going to throw it out to the rest of the panel. Tell me, what is the problem with YouTube and whatever? Just give us a rundown.
Well, when YouTube first started, they smartly started as a radio station, and I've been talking to one of the representatives from ASCAP. And my argument to them is, well, then YouTube basically is a radio station without paying royalties. And at the time I was talking to my person over there in ASCAP, they were trying to go in front of Congress to get YouTube to start to pay royalties. Because what YouTube does is have everybody upload all these music for free, and then the listener has been getting ads. So if you're an advertiser or you have a product, you can pay YouTube to put your ad. That every time this listener going to listen, like a Bob Marley, you get to sell perfume or whatever you want to sell.
Okay.
And so I think ASCAP kind of pushed them in a corner where they now start paying out royalties and streams. Because my stuff that I have, because I know the legal system, I've been learning it, I can now start to collect revenues from that.
Okay. So what is the downside to anybody who's uploading?
It's like asking water not to get wet. It's kind of what destroyed the recording business, because when you had vinyl, there was no way to get a copy unless until in time cassette tapes came in.
Right.
And then if with vinyl was the safest thing, because there's no somebody's not going to go through the process to make a pressing plant to get a copy, so you sell more. With this new digital age, it's like asking water not to get wet.
Right.
It's going to get copied. There's no way around it. Is why all the major record labels, when CD was, I don't know if anybody remember, when CD was just trying to come out, all the major record labels was trying to stop it, because every CD is a master.
That is very true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to move over to Fitzroy. What is your take on this?
And the Tidal and the streaming?
On YouTube. Let's stick with YouTube for the meantime.
Well, over the years, I always have a problem with YouTube, because it's allowed the rights. Because firstly, video with music have 3 copyright rules. It have the image rights, sound recording, and it also have song composition, which is music rights.
Yeah.
And we have seen this being exploited, because you can go on a YouTube channel and convert a song to MP3.
True.
So therefore, once a song is available on YouTube, there's no more protection to buy it.
Right.
Seals.
So
True.
Tamper with the seals. So if I, as a record producer who don't write a song but own my sound recording, and the artist go ahead and do a video for it, put it out on YouTube, it also violates my rights.
Right.
As the producer. Because that's how I earn. I earn from sound, because I own a sound recording. I might not write the lyrics, or I might not own the music, but the sound recording, So I see YouTube, it has its advantage, but it have greater disadvantage.
So we're saying,
because they should really have a license agreement from the manufacturer of YouTube.
Yeah, but what YouTube lawyers did, all right, is to put a disclaimer that protects YouTube, and it's not really a full protection. And I agree with everything Fitzroy is saying, because what they did was to allow people to upload stuff. Now, once it goes on YouTube, you can convert any YouTube into an MP3, and then that's going to kill the sales or royalties.
Right.
Of course. Right. And this is why a lot of reggae artists don't make money, because, all right, a man will put out a song on YouTube and get 1 million hits. But from 1 million hits, you don't have 100 sales.
Right.
What's the purpose of highlighting, say you get 1 million hits, and yet the song is not selling 1 million?
It's not converted in money, and this is what ASCAP was fighting them about.
Okay.
No, I think that they come to a compromise based on the argument that I give them. They were asking me to come to Washington D.C. to place my argument in front of Congress. And the strong argument is they're operating like a radio station that have millions of disc jockey around the world that putting up their stuff. And like if you're an artist like Bob Marley, where you're getting 100,000 or 500,000 hits and 500 people seeing your video, then whoever, when you're playing YouTube, you see that ad. Whoever is placed in those ad is getting, they have to be paying YouTube, I think, for advertisement. And then none of the money is not converting down to the artist. And then again, the whole rights, like what Fitzroy here just passed, the permission.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't get any permission from me to put up my thing. You went to somebody who is a third party, a buyer who bought the material before, and you allow the buyer who bought the record before to put it up on YouTube, and then it just violated everybody's rights right there.
So okay, let me come to Christopher Hills before I pose my question. Chris.
Yes. YouTube. Right. We don't put any full-length tracks on YouTube because of the ripping.
Right.
And just this weekend, we've had an example where YouTube, via their Google Play facility, where an album had been released, decided they would put a playlist up of all the tracks on the album full length, without any permissions, without approaching the copyright holders or anything. When I raised the the necessary documentation, they came back to me and suggested that it was the publisher of the album who released the album in 2008.
Mm.
Now that album was re-released with new publishers in 2012.
Okay.
So there's nothing for them to hide behind there. They just need to pull the tracks down because, like everyone said, that's any sale opportunities out the window. Gone.
Thank you. Dobidu, let me just ask Dobidu a question. And my question to him is, what is the consequence to anybody? For instance, if I upload one of your tracks onto YouTube, what is the consequence of me doing that?
Well, I can say from personal experience, and I think Ruddy maybe knows this too, we had talked about CD Baby, and they collect royalties for you. So as a joke, I put up really low grade quality MP3s of my YouTube. You know, this is just an example. So that even if somebody wants to rip it, go ahead. It's really low quality. You get happy with that, go ahead. It's really low quality. Just the MP3 rate, when as low as possible. But when I got my synchronization fees back, which is for YouTube and stuff like that, I saw the videos I had uploaded on YouTube. I had almost, let's say, 700 to 800 views, and I got paid like not even a cent. Let's say that.
Wow.
And I had to laugh at this. I said, come on, are you kidding? And yes, they are collecting for me. That's a cent that I want to get from myself. I would have to find somebody to go do that for me or go do the hard work myself. But it's just showing you how much a person get ripped off. Now, say if you have, you know, even if you had 1 million views, you're getting $1. That's not fair. That's just on so many levels. That's where it's getting, people are getting ripped off.
Well,
it's the main point.
Well, again, it going back to how the liars them structuring this whole contract. Because if it was look, for example, if it was a radio station and they played your song 1 million times, how much would you get? You'd be getting way more money.
Oh, of course, and that's anytime. That's anytime when a radio plays
so what
it. You know,
YouTube
more than
did, what YouTube did was to create this radio station, have millions of disc jockey around the world, and been getting away by selling ads to their viewers without have to pay any royalty.
Yeah,
and without any consent from any of the owners or anybody who created it. They went to a third party who is a buyer, and the buyer of a song doesn't have any permission to copy or to distribute that. So there's all these violations that YouTube been involved in.
Right.
Yeah, and I also know too, they'll take down movies, they'll take down shows if you know. The thing is, it's like they feel like music has now become like, I don't know, free commodity or something. Because if you put up, let's say, the #1 hit show or the #1 hit movie that came out in 2015, they're gonna pull it off right away. Most likely, they will pull it off as soon as possible if it's not okay in the publisher. But yet with music now, they just want to rip us off. And like I said, it's nice that if anybody uploads anything from my album Back to the Roots of Dub, they'll get pulled off because I didn't okay it. But now if I upload it myself and okay it, I'm only getting a cent for all those views. And of course, it is promotion in some ways. It is helping, but a cent from all these views, a cent? Come on.
Yeah, but
it's unfair to everybody.
Well, here's what. YouTube, when you look at anybody, they're a publicly traded company, right? So they have to make the earnings public. And when you look at what the money and the CEO taking in, is an injustice that they're making all this money off the artists, and then the artists only making penny, don't have any say, are never given any consent.
Does anybody get? Does anybody get the ASCAP letter? If anybody's a member of ASCAP, you get a letter each month or a week. And the funny thing is, they had a big thing on this, and they were taking a famous musician, a rock guy. And they said this rock guy has to almost work a 9-to-5 job to make money because he can't make money off his own royalties. It's impossible for him. Everybody has his songs up on YouTube and all these different places, but he has to almost have a 9-to-5 job just to make money. And he's a known guy. I mean, it's a pretty big rock guy. And for him to have to do that, that's showing you what they're doing to everybody, especially if you're dead. If you're a dead musician, oh, come on. You know, if you long and gone, Louis Armstrong and all those guys, that's a problem.
Yeah, well, it's unfair because the problem that YouTube do, and again, I don't think government should in the right to tell you that, well then, artist copyright expires only lasts for how much? I think, how much? 70 years after the artist dead or something like that. So the ears of Louis Armstrong and those people, their thing now the government want to make it fall into the free domain. I don't think the government have that authority to say, you dozer can't hand down your copyright to your son.
To your
that
kids
he can
or to
now
your family.
later enforce it.
Right.
And that's why I think the show was so necessary.
And then a good argument that can be brought against YouTube is using a scenario. Somebody put up a song on YouTube. It have millions of views. Well, then you probably could convert that into a lawsuit and say, this is how much money I lost because you took my thing without my permission. You put it out on YouTube without anybody's permission, the producer, the author, anybody's permission, and that's a clear violation.
That's very interesting what you mentioned there. Very interesting.
Can I make one more point on that also too? Now, if you were to record a radio station, an actual radio broadcast, and that music in that radio broadcast, and try to redistribute that, you would get in trouble for that. But yet, if YouTube has a video on there and somebody MP3 that, no, they're not going to go after them now. That's exactly the problem. It's the exact same thing. YouTube has almost become a radio TV industry in itself, and they're making millions. And not only musicians, everybody, even those show guys, some of those old, thing where they put the money into it. They did the stuff, and now they're getting ripped off. Everybody now, not just one person, not just music.
Well, this is why I point out the conflict of interest with money and the law. Because the people who is supposed to be writing the law to protect everyone, they are going on golf trip on the favorite golf course with the YouTube executive. And we already know where the vote's going to go.
Let me come to Lady General. Lady General, what is your take?
Well, yeah, I'm like the lay person in all of this because I'm not involved in any of the music business legalities myself, but as I say, I represent the lay people now in this discussion, and my thing is with YouTube is don't they have a disclaimer? I'm sure they have a disclaimer on their website somewhere that says that if you use their website for the purposes of adding content, then they're not liable for any copyright infringements.
Yeah, but how about, Lady G, not to cut you off, just to stick a pin of a quotage. You have a flea market, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying everybody who have flea market for you have a flea market for car. Everybody who has a car can come and put it on my parking lot, and I'm going to be exempt if anybody bring any stolen car and sell it on my lot. You provide the facility that the crime can take place. So of course you're liable.
I remember uploading a video, a song that an artist wanted me to upload for them. And at the time of uploading the song, I got a message back from YouTube in their defense, if I can say that, was that this is a copyright infringement.
Yeah, but isn't
that them umbrella protecting the artist?
That does happen. That does happen. But they still won't pull it down unless you push. If the copyright holder pushes the case,
right?
But they don't notify the copyright holder,
right?
But that's been a big thing though. Now, if you look on YouTube, a lot of people be like, "I don't own the rights to this." They'll put it in the actual title of the video because you can put the title and then the description, and they'll be like, "I don't own the copyrights to that," and that's how a lot of people
pulled down straight away.
Exactly.
Without question.
In the thing. Exactly, and the thing is now, it's like, say scientist, or like, let's say King Tubby's, or let's say Jay-Z, let's say anybody. Do you know how many videos are probably uploaded on a daily basis who doesn't own the copyright, who say, oh, I just bought the CD, let me upload my favorite song just so it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's where the problem's coming into, because it needs to be pulled down because then somebody else has a copy. It's basically almost worse than Napster was. Remember what I said? Napster was a big brick for this point. When Metallica stepped out and they said, hey, this is ridiculous, everybody's getting ripped off, then everybody started noticing, oh man, dang, I need to step up and say, get my stuff straight, you know? Get the business in a direction, because this is a business. You know, we're not doing this for free. I love music. I love to make music. It's for the people, but also it is, everybody's entitled to get money from what they do. You should never get ripped off your thing.
Let me come to Roddy Campbell, because Roddy Campbell's an artist, and let's just say somebody like myself who you've never met before comes and uploads your song onto YouTube. What is your course of action? Do you see that as a violation, or do you see it as somebody loves my song and is giving me some free promotion?
Well, for me personally, considering the fact that everything for me, in terms of original material going out in the public, is already copywritten. So to your question, if I should come across any sort of video or music of mine on, say, for example, YouTube being the topic of the conversation now, I wouldn't contact YouTube myself. I go straight to my copyright company, and I would bring it to their attention and let them do what needs to be done. For me, knowing personally that, okay, that's who I go to, that's who is responsible for my music, because I signed up with you. This is why it's important to get your music copywritten. But the thing that I've noticed with YouTube is, if you look at when a video is uploaded to YouTube, if you look at the bottom left corner of the video, you can see who uploaded the music.
Okay.
Now YouTube is not uploading anybody's music. They can't.
No.
Yeah, but YouTube is
auto-generated thing now. But now Chris had brought up a book about the auto-generated. No, they are doing it themselves.
No, but anything that is uploaded to any digital public website, there is always a privacy inscription there. So if someone is clearly uploading a video of another artist that is not, it doesn't belong to them, you have to go past that screen that says, are you the sole owner of this song? Now, what YouTube is not doing is that YouTube is not putting their foot down on the ground, and this is why societies like SOCAN, BMI, ASCAP, JCAP, all the societies now are going after companies like YouTube. I don't know if anybody remember LimeWire, who was a free, you can get free music from LimeWire. SOCAN here, my copyright company in Canada here, between them and BMI, had something to do with closing down LimeWire. Now they're back up under an assumed name. But as far as YouTube is concerned, there's too many loopholes. There's too many loopholes.
There's too many loopholes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, one of the loopholes is, before I just turn it over to you, based on law, you have to tell them to cease and desist. By that time, cease and desist, and you will find out you could have 1 million views.
Well, for me personally, if you search out throughout the entirety of YouTube, my new album that came out last year, you won't find a music video for it up there. And the reason why I've not done any music video and put it up on YouTube, I'd rather put it on my own website. Because again, it's the right way to do it. Don't put it up on YouTube. Put it up on, because here's the thing that's going on with YouTube right now. Because of the pressure from all the societies right now, YouTube is pulling a lot of videos down. And a lot of the videos they're pulling down is artists who do a cover version of another artist's song and make a music video for it and put it up onto YouTube. YouTube is pulling down a lot of them. But again, YouTube is a worldwide company, and because they're a worldwide company, they're getting, sorry scientists, they're getting pressure. I know personally they're getting pressure from SOCAN here, because there's a lawsuit against them right now. Because I get a newsletter from my copyright company, both of them, monthly newsletter every month, updating me as to what's going on and the changes that is going on in the music industry. And YouTube is like number one.
Same thing kept doing.
Right. So YouTube right now has become like the number one on the watch list. And again, YouTube is a worldwide company. And what has been happening for many, many years since YouTube has been around is now being trying to clean up because they're being sued left, right, and center by a lot of big record companies. But for me personally, because I have an inside look and inside knowledge of what YouTube is all about, that's the reason why I don't have anything up there.
Right.
But just a further point, guys.
I'm not interested in hits. I'm not interested in hits. I'm interested in dollars.
Right.
They could easily overcome this the same way that SoundCloud do with electronic monitoring of anything that's uploaded.
That's right. That's right.
And immediately there's something sent out to whoever uploads it saying there's a copyright on this. Prove that you have the right to upload it, because obviously as a record label we load songs as a publisher, and then the artists themselves will load it on their SoundCloud page, and then they have to supply a copy of the agreement that's in place allowing them to use it on their site as well.
That's very interesting. So for every artist that I interviewed, so basically I've got to draw up a contract with an artist to say that I want to interview them in order for me to have my interview highlighted on Mixcloud or even SoundCloud, right?
Yeah.
We're talking music here, though.
Yeah. But if anything that you can make public like an interview, and if it can translate into sales, the way our interview is supposed to really work, if you're going to make them public, the person who you interviewing have the right to either pull the interview or object to something that they probably didn't clearly understand. So you still need a release and a consent form from the person who you're going to do the interview with.
Now the reason why I mentioned
just to further talk about YouTube. YouTube is a streaming company that has gone bad. They're a streaming company that has gone bad. And the problem is there's a thing called the power of suggestion. And what YouTube has done to the lay artists out in the street who don't understand nothing about his or her rights is that YouTube make it look to all these artists like, okay, you get 1 million hits.
So
1 million hits, that's fine. So what?
Aren't you supposed to get an amount?
But here's my question to YouTube. I get 1 million hits. What does that translate into? It's like generally you and the gentleman who wanted you to sign the contract with him many moons ago and said, you know what, it's a promotion for you. This is why it is important. This is why it is important for artists.
Go ahead.
When you look, what you need to look at, one of the CEOs for YouTube probably going on with a couple $1 million a year, and an artist on YouTube who have say 20 million hits, he getting what, 20 cents, while the CEO is walking up with this big money. It should not be that. The way it should be, say YouTube taking $1 billion. Right, when you're taking $1 billion off the music, unless it's free upload, somebody talking about a product. But once it's music, that money is supposed to work like how the different tribunal work. They're taking $1 million, and we have 500 artists stuff on it. Divide up that money and give it to all artists.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem with artists. Here's the problem with a lot of Jamaican artists that need to understand right now. Because again, as I say, primarily I'm concentrating on Jamaica and Jacob in Jamaica. Here's what I would like all Jamaican artists to understand. And most of them are just realizing it. Most artists didn't even know that you can collect royalties by putting your stuff up on YouTube. Most of them did not know that.
But
a lot of them still don't know.
But Chris had brought up a point about
Roddy, you have two sides of the business, Roddy. Yeah. You have the music side, and then you have the business side, and side of it, and there's not much artists even academically bright to understand anything, or even know when the lawyer lined them.
Thank God for this show.
Hang on a minute, but with YouTube and Jamaica, they don't allow Jamaica to monetize their videos.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know that.
It's only 20 countries in the world that can monetize.
See, there you go. You learn
brought up a
something
good
new
point
every
about
day.
auto generation.
Wow.
Do you know about auto generating? Did anybody know about auto generating? Right now on YouTube, this is what they're doing. If you go on Facebook and say there's a company who's never made a page for themselves, if they get famous enough, they'll auto generate it, right? Where it's their version for the company. In YouTube right now, if you look under, they put it under the label topic, and they will auto generate this. So
That's
it's actually
exactly what
albums
happened
that
with
are,
our album. That's exactly
what I'm saying. They're auto generating it. So it means
Now,
that once you hit CD Baby or iTunes, Amazon.
Dozer, could you do me a favor? Could you explain to our listening audience what that term means? Auto-generate.
Okay, auto-generating means that it automatically has it automatically makes a page for a company. So like I said, if you have a page and say you're Fruity Loops of the Pops cereal or whatever, and you've never made a page for yourself, Facebook will sometimes make a page for you. Auto-generate it, which means they'll put what information they can find about it and put a little picture of the front of the cereal box. Now, what YouTube has done is started
auto-generate.
Yes, and so this means if you go look up like King Auto, yes,
okay.
AUTO, like automatic. Okay, and so if you go look up like say King Tubby's the Scientist, they actually have took the whole album and uploaded it underneath the label Topic, and they up-label underneath Topic, not music, not industry, whatever. They'll put Topic, and it says auto-generate.
Let's examine the motive for YouTube action. Why would they want to do something? It's not because they're good. It's not because they want to get promotion. It's because it equals money. YouTube is about making money. The problem is you using our creativity to make money, and you and your lawyers hook up something with Congress that they're taking in $10 and they're paying out less than a half a cent to everybody who they're making profit off. That needs to stop. Right? What needs to happen with YouTube, they need to publicly announce what the earnings are. And then again, if you're an artist that you only have 20 stream, well, then we're not expecting to pay you the same amount as somebody that have 200,000 or 20,000.
But scientists, we were talking about copyright and intellectual copyright. You have the absolute right to decide where it goes. They need a license to be able to do that.
Yes.
I agree with you. I agree because as the copyright holder, the reason why it's called copyright holder, you have the last word where you want to put it. What YouTube did was to create a radio station and say, hey, you know what? Everybody who have a King Tubby's around the world, put it up on our service. I'm opening a flea market, and I'm going to be exempt from anybody who's selling stolen car in my flea market. You come in and sell all the stolen cars you want, and I'm free and clear. In the meantime, to everybody who come and visit the flea market, I'm going to be showing them my banners of what I am selling.
But look at what
they've done.
It's not even that case with automatically generated. They are selling the stolen cars on their cars.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
They're actually doing it themselves. They're intentionally, knowingly doing this.
Well, why? One, again, it's going back to lawyer-assisted criminology. You see, the lawyers, them study the law. And you have this ignorance within law that says if somebody been violating you for more than 2 years and you don't get a chance to do anything about it because you're a poor artist or a musician, the person who's breaking the law in the first place has the right to now continue to break the law. That's madness. Now, what lawyer hooked up that? They hooked up that in favor of YouTube. Right. So when you look at these things,
go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Yeah. So when you look at the whole situation, the lawyers studied the law, and the lawyers found loopholes around the law.
Right.
That's what it is. But again, it violates a copyright holder and violate the law that even America decide to uphold. Right, that the copyright holder is the one that have the permission, the only person that have the permission to decide where he or she material go, and not YouTube. So the argument is, when I look, just one YouTube channel have 500,000 hits, and one have $100,000. That's a reasonable argument to say this is how much money I missed out on because of YouTube.
So let me come to Fitzroy, because as a producer, you've worked with people like Chris and T and Andrew Bees and so forth, and I've seen your video, 36 Bullets, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Now, with that video that you made, yeah, you've uploaded it onto YouTube. What is the process you took in order to upload it and get what is due to you or the artist?
Well, YouTube, as you can be the copyright owner of a song, but you still don't, you are not the music publisher of the song.
Okay.
YouTube have to enter into a license agreement with the music publisher.
Right.
And this is the discrepancies that a lot of artists don't know. As a producer, I have a music channel now, but I still allow my artists, and that video was financed by my artists.
Right.
It's not like me, Mightyful 13, financed that Crescente album.
Right.
That song, I mean, the video of it.
Right.
So I own the music. It is copyrighted by the Library of Congress, by PRS in England. So therefore, when that go up on YouTube, the copyright agent contact my publisher and then give them agree to let it go because it is protected.
I want you to say that one more time to anybody who's listening right now. Just say that process one more time.
As the producer, if I did my artist finance his video and upload it, not on my channel, I don't upload it to my Mightyful 13 channel. I allow him to upload it on his channel.
Right.
But YouTube contact my music publisher because the music publisher has the rights. A music publisher can say, all right, take down that video. You can flag it in.
Right.
You can write YouTube and say there is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, scientist.
Yeah, but the artists or the copyright holder have to give the music publisher permission to make it public. And if the copyright holder didn't give the musician anything in writing to make the work
yes,
published,
but that's what I said. I said YouTube.
Then that's a violation.
YouTube does not get a copyright agreement from the artist. You get a music publisher agreement. Because a copyright owner don't own the sound recording. A copyright owner do not own the sound recording.
Right.
And this is where a lot of discrepancies come. You know, I don't write the lyrics of a song. I don't own the copyright, but I own the music and the sound recording of the song with the lyrics. So therefore, any business I go on, the artist can go and go license it or go publish it or do not without the producer. You might have to call me and say, boy, Rocky, you know, never deal with this bridge in a area, and I will say, all right, go ahead. Or send the contact to me.
As a person, you mean the person who write the song have to come to the producer, you're saying?
Yes. The sound recording. The sound recording owner.
No. This is what producers, this is where I'm telling you this.
Scientists.
The person who write the song, right, is the person. And if you bring up that way you call it,
for a second.
We'll talk.
I make my rhythm. I make my rhythm. Yeah. And an artist come and sing on my rhythm. Him don't own the song.
That artist can go sing that song a million times if that song gets put on.
Make him go sing about the lyrics, but he cannot agree to my sound recording.
Him can't. Let's define it the proper way. An artist sing about bubblegum, and him sing about bubblegum on your track, which is a reggae track. He can go sing about bubblegum. I'm defining it properly so everybody can hear. An artist write a song about bubblegum and him sing it on a reggae track. He want to go sing about bubblegum on a hip hop track. He don't need the producer permission to do that. But he will need.
And I did not say
that. He needs a
scientist. I did not say that.
No, that's not what Fitzroy is saying.
Okay, I'm coming to your point. But if you Fitzroy, go in the studio, and as you say, do this thing, and I'm using your same exact track, then that is where the gray area comes in. And then again, with this new law that comes into effect, that every artist can go and get back whatever master they have from whatever producer record company, and then they become the owner and the owner of it, then that blows that out the water.
No, can I just step in for a moment? Can I step in for a moment? Because I think where Fitzroy's confusing people by using the term producer, he's composed the rhythm track, so he is co-owner of the intellectual property rights with the person that lyriced it and wrote the lyrics. They 50-50 own the song. The term producer is confusing it because you know.
No, I didn't use the word producer. You know. I don't know if anyone was listening what I was saying.
Explain yourself, Fitzroy. Hold up. Let Fitzroy, start again. Just explain yourself and let us listen to what he has to say.
What I'm saying, the question to me, what General said was, how do he talking about 36 Bullet and it upload to YouTube, and how does I as a producer get my rights? Yeah. I'm saying to him, the sound recording is owned by Mightyful 13, not the lyrics of the song. The music publishing is owned by Mightyful 13 because Chrisinti has his own publisher who he registered his lyrics to. Which Mightyful 13 has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Yeah, but who wrote the music? Who wrote the music?
I own the music.
No, but who wrote it? The person who wrote
the music. I create the rhythm.
No. Let's define creating the rhythm.
Scientist, hold a second. You as an artist coming to my home and hear me play my rhythm and say, Rocky, I want to record on your rhythm. You don't own my rhythm.
Yeah, no, but now let's define. Let's go. This is a good discussion, and let's go a step further behind that, right? The way the copyright law is set up, right? If the producer come into your studio and me a rhythm playing, that's a Sly and Robbie play.
Producer, the artist.
The artist come inside the studio, your facility, whatever, and hear a rhythm that you and that Sly and Robbie play. Right, the same right that extend to the person who write the lyrics is the same right extend to the people who actually come up with the bass line, the chord structure, and so forth.
No, we're not talking about the mechanical aspect of it. You know. We're talking about the lyrics.
Mechanical is based on sales. On what manufactured. I'm talking about the people who compose the music, like the bass line, the drum parts, and all that.
We never discussed that yet. You know. We're talking about artists, and we're not talking about the musician, because that's when I build a rhythm, you know, I tell my musician what to play. You know. Danny asks
if you tell the musician what to play,
yes,
then of course then you would.
I paid him.
Hold up.
A writer.
Hold up. Let me ask a question.
Pay for hired musician play to reproduce my
of course.
Well, let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. Yeah, to both scientists and Rocky. Yeah, and my question is this. Yeah. Fitzroy has gone into the studio. Yeah, he's got all these musicians to build a rhythm. Let's just say the Mighty and Battle rhythm or whatever. He's got that rhythm now in his hand as a master. Yeah, is in his hand as a master. Who owns the end package that he has created?
Let me answer it. You can, if Roddy could bring up the Jamaica copyright play, it says that, right? Just like the scenario you lay out,
right?
He got the musician. He come into the studio. He have them sign a document, work for hire. Then yes, he owns it,
right?
But if there's no document to the contrary that says that, then the track and whatever money should come of it, like it get put into a movie or whatever, all that money would go and divide up into all the people who write it, that known as co-writers. On the other side of the coin, where if Fitzroy say, I want you to play this, and they play it, then he's now known as a writer. And then if he has something in writing, he says work for hire, then yes, he owns it.
Now we know
if I may jump in here a second.
Go ahead.
Trying to understand, because Fitzroy didn't get a chance to explain himself. What I think Fitzroy is talking about, and I'm not speaking for Fitzroy, I'm just piggybacking on what he's saying. Fitzroy build his own rhythm, because I think we're missing one thing where what Fitzroy is trying to explain. Fitzroy build his own Mightyful 13 rhythm. Let's call the rhythm the showbiz rhythm. Fitzroy finished building that rhythm. He take his rhythm and he go register his rhythm.
Yes.
At a copyright company. That rhythm. Hold on one second. Fitzroy went.
Hold on. Go on, Roddy.
Fitzroy build his own rhythm. I'm an artist. Fitzroy build his own rhythm. He went, before he actually put any artist on that rhythm, he went to the copyright company and register his rhythm, which now belongs to him. He can sit on that rhythm for the rest of his life. It's his rhythm. However, if Fitzroy contact me and say, Roddy boy, I have a rhythm, want to put you on that rhythm. Fitzroy and I am going to have to sit down and come to an agreement, a legal agreement, as to based upon the fact that his rhythm is already registered. It belongs to him. If an artist sing on top of that rhythm, that song don't belong to that artist. It's in the book. It doesn't belong to that artist.
Hold on. But it goes to say there's a bit more to it than that. As I say, Fitzroy please, if you bring up the Jamaica copyright thing, it's not I saying it. I'm just echoing what they're saying. If Fitzroy go get Sly and Robbie into the studio and say, Sly and Robbie, I want you to play this, and Sly and Robbie play exactly what Fitzroy want, then with both the drum parts, because they said drum parts is not copyrightable, but if the keyboard and everything, and if Fitzroy, if the musician played exactly to what Fitzroy want or what then he is the writer, so he owns it. But if, and this is where the common mistake make, if the musicians got into the studio and you put the musician in front of Sly and Robbie come up with all of their bass parts, everything, and they come up with just said they had come up with Taxi, which is not Sly and Robbie originally had Taxi. It was fully full with Santa Davis them. So using that scenario, fully full with Santa Davis was the first person play Taxi for Black and Marwell. It has so much other versions of it. It get put into a movie. Right? The persons who can really collect on that part of the music is the people who create it. And this is where PLL comes in, because it looks out for the people who create it. Now, to the contrary of that, if there is no document, nothing in writing, like work for hire, is the same rule applies to the people who write the lyric and the people who come up with the music. It's not transferable. It's automatic to the people who write it. That is how it. And again, please to look at the Jamaica copyright law. To the music, any kind of a musical composition, right? The first owners are the person who comes up with the parts, never the producer. Not unless there is something in contrary. It has to be in writing. Now, on the other side of the coin, if Fitzroy say, hey, Sly and Robbie, this is the bass line like what he says. This is the bass line, here are all the parts. Then he's the writer, he's 100% owner of it.
So it's imperative to then
that was what I was trying to explain to you via the YouTube.
Right.
It's a YouTube we are talking about, and how do I as a producer get paid from?
Well, no, you have to do don't define it as producer. Mistake is
something you have to man talk to,
Hold on.
Yeah, but you have to define it as writer. Writer is different from the producer.
Let
music. I imply to people. The reason why General Stockade outlined that kind no Mightyful 13 is Fitzroy Francis, the writer, the producer, the composer.
Yeah, writer / producer. Yeah, writer slash producer. Then yeah, if you are the writer slash producer, then yes, you own it. And
all
yes,
all of my rhythm, except the one that I reproduce, like the Better Must Come and Cool Operator. I am the one who tell the musician how and what to play, and I pay them to.
Right, so you are the writer.
And I always, as Mr. Campbell explained to you, I always send my lyrics, the music sound recording, to the Library of Congress before I record on it.
Correct. You're correct. Right. You're correct.
I know that.
Yeah, but it was, you see,
you never explained to you never explained.
Yeah, that's what Fitzroy was trying to explain.
Because what the question was about YouTube. I remember the subject. YouTube and how do I get paid? And I was explaining to say, as a producer or as a composer, if I don't physically take the money and like produce the video, the artists have a lot of rights there. Right? They're splits, you know. Because when I get your sheet, you say 50%, you say artistship, and you have musicians. So you know, so well, something I can't. Sometimes even me as the writer of the music, sometimes I can't even own the whole 50%. I have to give even 25% to the musicians because they play the music irrespective of I pay them to recreate my concept.
Right.
Because if it's at 1 million units, I'm not gonna say, boy, I'm not gonna give them money. No, because this and that. Selfish in our industry. We are so selfish that sometimes our song will sell 1 million and a man instead of saying, no, you hear me? If it's because me is not a musician that play the beat, the rhythm myself. You understand?
Right.
So it's come to a consideration.
The problem is how we're defining it, because what been led in the industry and a lot of producers don't use, and sometimes the right terminology does use. If you are a producer slash arranger slash writer, you wrote all the parts, you told the guitarist, the piano, everybody who played on it what to play, then you are the sole owner because you're a producer slash composer slash writer. But in the case where a producer comes into the studio, he has no creative input in it, and then he wants to register the song 100% to himself, then that's what we're talking about.
Okay. That's why I'm saying that wasn't the question asked to me. It's just maybe you define it as that.
So tell me something. Tell me something. What is it? So define the term arranger. Who is the arranger?
The person who comes in. Well, again, writer slash arranger. The person who writes the lyric. Well, I want the bass line to go this way. I want this part only comes in right here. You could try it as an arrangement. Right, and the person who say, well, then I want Robbie, I want my bass line to go like this, and I want the piano to play like that. If Fitzroy does all of that, then yes, 100% he wrote it, and yes, he owns it. That's just the law.
And the artist. All right. For instance, I have already known the essence of life. When Sanadu come to me and start singing that rhythm, and I record it, because when my singer sing, I record my concept, with my phone them, And then Mr. Zanadu, here we will get Danny Axman, and me and him and Danny Axman on the phone, and we arrange it. You see that rhythm, it is owned by me and Zanadu,
Right.
Because and Zanadu is a co-writer then?
Yes, because I build a rhythm from what he's singing to me. And what he's saying to me, I create sounds in my head and say, no, I'm going to put a xylophone here or a bridge right there. And then me and him construct it. And we call the musicians. I will tell them, say, this is what we want.
Right. Yeah. Well this is a good this is a good discussion, Fitzroy.
And that is how I register my music.
Well, rightfully so. Rightfully so. But to the contrary, hey, he's correct. I'm strengthening that he's correct. But to the contrary of this, with Fitzroy, like a producer coming to the studio, him have no creative input. He does nothing like what you say. and with arrangement, nothing like that.
Them man that producer, you know, them man that a lot of executive producer turn producer, you know.
The term
Well,
that
this is what I'm talking about.
define executive producer, Fitzroy.
Executive producer is the man who financed the project.
Right.
With no creative
I will say it to you.
input.
I will say it to you. General Stockade, it's 100,000.
Right.
Producer album with Paul Elliott for me.
Right.
To do all the works, to go and produce a product, and at the end of the day, it will state, produced by General Stockade, for Fitzroy Francis.
Right.
Okay, Fitzroy. In the practice of reggae,
The producer, go ahead, scientist.
Yeah, in the practice of reggae, Jamaica, a producer knows Sly and Robbie. Him never produce a song in him life. Him basically finance a project, right? And then when you look on the record, you see written and arranged and produced by. When he not a man like you, he has no creative input into it. It's not his project.
No, well, this is that thing that occur in Jamaica over the years, because it happened to a lot of our musicians where we know.
That's right.
A lot of them.
Well,
they don't do the law.
Let me say something. Sorry to cut everybody. But I want to talk about Silford Walker for a little while. Yeah, I had him on my show yesterday, and he was talking about his involvement with I forget the producer. I forget the producer. Anyway, released a couple of tracks with
Joe Gibbs.
Joe Higgs. Joe who?
Gibbs. Was it Joe Gibbs?
Joe Gibbs. Sorry, yes, Joe Gibbs. That's it. He did an album with Joe Gibbs, and he said that on Joe Gibbs' passing, he said that he's still got 200 tracks which are unreleased. Yeah, with Joe Gibbs, and basically, the son of Joe Gibbs was asking Silford Walker, to put his signature to a contract to give him sole rights to release his music, which Silford Walker refused to do. Now, I heard a scientist mention something that an artist can go and reclaim his masters. That's if I heard you right.
Yes, Joe Biden and them, because of the same injustice. I tell you, I salute Joe Biden for this. He did the right thing. Aretha Franklin and all of those artists that suffer the injustice, right, can now, I think they have until 2016 to go reclaim all rights from any record label. So you get back. And then even in Jamaica law, all rights revert back to artists after X amount of years. So Joe Biden is strengthened that law, and whatever artist can go to Capital Record Company, whatever, and get back ownership of your master.
So what must an artist do, for instance, in Silford Walker's position, what can he do? What is the process any artist has to do in order to reclaim his entire works? Can he reclaim them?
Well, the first thing is, you can't have a contract with a dead man.
There was no contract whatsoever in the first
place. Whatever contract he had with Joe Gibbs, the dad, it's kind of tricky, because if what's the name, Rocky is the ear, then it kind of pass on.
Can I come in there?
Go ahead.
Can I come in on that same point? Scientists, you can tell them this. Imagine if somebody sold a house to you, you shook a hand, and somebody gave you a house and said you can live here as long as you want, and that person died. What's going to happen?
Well,
they're going to have to look for the writing that says you're allowed to live there.
The land and title place, which is what we'll find some record companies do. The person who they license the stuff from is not here to talk, and they're claiming ownership. Well, the license and land and title place is not going to change the ownership right back into the tenant's name.
Where the pseudonym come in? But
to stay on the topic with Silford Walker, right? If he had a contract with Joe Gibbs, the dad, and then now Rocky come in and say the son, I want, well, first of all, the only reason why I've been coming to him is because no contract exists. And then second of all, and then what, this is the thing that artists must must demand in their contract, that the record company, if anything happened to the artist, must settle the estate. Because whatever contract Dennis Brown or any deceased artist has with any record company, that contract died the moment the artist died. And the record company has to settle the estate, has to go look for the heir and say, well, then your dad died and this is what it is, and do you want to continue it? The record company do have the right to keep selling Dennis Brown stuff and say, hey, I had a contract with Dennis Brown. But you have no contract with Dennis Brown because Dennis Brown is dead. You can't have a contract with a dead man.
And so, General, very important point. I want elaborate what scientists just said.
Yeah.
As an artist, sometimes the artist must get out of stop being a person and be an entity. They should register themselves.
Yeah,
that's
right. Have to die. They don't have to die. They don't have to die to have an estate.
Right.
They need to register themselves as an entity, because in law, a verbal agreement is equally as a written agreement.
But not when it comes to copyrights.
Yes. Yes, I understand. But if Mayor can go into the court and say, I give scientists give me the rights to publish this thing.
No. Not because the law is cut and dry with that. Producer must, no way around it, to avoid the situation, must have written consent.
Well, that's great. Because the law updating about the artists and we as industry people, we need to make ourselves as an entity and start being a person.
Right.
Very important.
Yeah, and
to that point,
a lot of artists can't get them rights because they're a person.
Go ahead, Roddy.
To Fitzroy's point, which is the basis of this show from day one, is to inform and to teach and to educate the artists as to what their rights are. Because it is one thing to say you write this or you did that or you sing this or you did that. You know, show the proof. Because when you get into the court system is about paperwork. And paperwork is about proof.
Yeah.
As the old saying go, hearsay can't carry go to court. So
exactly.
what I'm encouraging the artists to do, because this is the second time we're doing this show, and it's a truckload of information coming left, right, and center. The fiber of this show and the fiber of the conversation to every listening artist out there right now is to register your entity, as Fitzroy say. Make yourself become an entity. Make yourself become a company instead of just a person and an individual. Because if you become, the good thing about it, and I can say this from being an artist, registering all my material, if I find out that any of my material is being used illegally anywhere, I'm not going to go confront YouTube. I'm going to go confront the big radio station. I'm going to go talk to the membership department of my company that I sign up with. And I said, here's the information that I come to understand and have, that this is going on out there. Go fix it.
Yeah,
because the problem I'm trying to get individual artists, because sometimes when as a little Jamaican artist just coming into business, hearing things like lawsuit and publishing right and sync rights, and they're like, okay, I don't understand none of this stuff. You don't have to understand all this stuff. It starts with you registering your work. Register your work, and the company,
have their lawyers deal with that.
The company will deal with it. Right? It's kind of like if you rent a house from your landlord, every responsibility that's based on that house, anything that goes wrong with the house, you call, unless you're stupid enough to fix it yourself out of your own pocket, but you call the landlord and said, this is not working, this is not working. It is under the law that your landlord come in and fix the problem. It's the same thing with the copyright companies. Sign up. I cannot stress it enough that you need to sign up, because it takes a lot of all of what we're talking about here off of your shoulder as an artist. sign up yourself as an entity, as a company, as Fitzroy said, because it is there's no way any artist out there can monitor your music across the world. No way.
Well, the legal term for what he's talking about is incorporate, because if you're deceased as an artist and you incorporate and you're not an individual, then the corporation now has the power of attorney to now go and file lawsuit or do whatever, because you're not an individual at the time, and then it protects your personal assets also.
And that's why all the more reason why the artists need to put themselves under a society umbrella. Stop staying out there by yourself and think that you're going to fix this by yourself, because you can't.
Well, maybe we need to give the artists that information. This is a show where we can arm the artists with that kind of information.
That's kind of what I was coming in right here. If you don't mind me butting in though, because Ruddy had said about arm the artists, I found a great site. Where it lays down everything. And I wanted to let people know about it, because this talks about sync rights. It talks about mechanical royalties. It talks about anything you can imagine. It's just pure music law and intellectual property. And Ruddy's saying you should sign up. You should also arm yourself. You should not just allow a company to do something. You should also know, well, I know that this is the law, and you should arm yourself as well as signing up. And that's what the show is about.
Sorry, and I'm going to read, again, as I said earlier, there's a couple, because I think this is at this point where a lot of Jamaican artists needs to know what's going on. I'm going to read really quickly an article that's going on in Jamaica with JCAP. And the title of it is Value Your Music Creativity. And I read, and I quote, several media houses are now before the Supreme Court facing charges of breaches of the copyright laws. The lawsuits were brought against them by the Jamaica Association of Authors, Composers, and Publishers, JCAP, which represents over 2 million creators of music worldwide, including over 3,400 Jamaicans. The media houses before the courts include CVM-TV, Grove Broadcasting Limited, IRA FM, Class Sports Radio, Island Broadcasting Services. Let's just say all the media houses in Jamaica. In a statement, JCAP General Manager Linda Rose noted that the creators of music are unhappy with illegal use of their works and have mandated JCAP. They have mandated JCAP. These are the signed, registered members who have gone to JCAP and said, here's what we want you to do. To take violators to court for infringement of our copyrights. JCAP, which was established in 1999, has to date paid over $180 million in royalties to its members. And we're talking about those in Jamaica who have signed up. The writers is not always the performer, whereas artists earn from performance rights. Writers and creators of music earn primarily through royalties. Under the 1993 Copyright Act, all users of copyright music are required to get a license for the usage of music. The JCAP GM said that after years of negotiating, several broadcasters still remain non-compliant, either making minimal contributions or refusing to sign a contract or make any payments. She further emphasized that users of music need to understand that the works/rights of the music creators must be respected, as they are the foundation of the music industry and music events. JCAP plans to file lawsuits within the coming months against cable and venue operators, promoters, and hotels. Several meetings have been held with cable operators and their association, but most continue to breach the laws, gaining economic benefit from the unlicensed use of musical works. This, JCAP emphasized, represents blatant disregard for the laws of Jamaica and the creators of music. The association is adamant that it will not accept any handout, as it values musical creativity and will continue to act in the best interests of its members while preserving the Jamaican culture and creative industries. JCAP is a non-profit membership organization which collects license fees from copyright music users and distributes the money as royalties to the music creators. A JCAP license is a legal requirement that allows the legitimate use of local and international music in Jamaica while respecting the rights of copywriters and composers to be paid fairly. End of quote.
Now we understand why YouTube not exempt some countries like Jamaica, because you see they are in clear violation of the law.
Yep.
That's
And this is the
exactly it.
reason why we want the artists, especially the artists in Jamaica, to understand that the fact that Jamaica is not part of the whole YouTube scenario, you know, it's not about getting a million hits. It's about throwing away your royalties.
Yeah.
It's about throwing away your royalties.
Again, ASCAP conflict with Bernie Convention, you know. It's in big conflict because the Bernie Convention is what all the countries, including America, sign up to protect artists' rights as copyright holder. The people who create the music is the first holder, and YouTube is in clear violation of that. Why is the law not handed down and upheld? Because again, there's too much conflict of interest with money and the law. Right, I put up a link there for you that you can share what an attorney must do. An attorney must not assist his client in breaking the law. And clearly, as YouTube attorney know that the client been breaking the law, and rather than telling the client to abide by the law because this is what it is, I think if you could share that link. Right, they're not doing that because they're going to get retainer money for how much years to drag on this thing rather than just settle it out of court.
Which in most cases it happened.
Yeah.
Now, for some of the young artists, for some of the young artists out there, especially Jamaican artists, because again, as I said, that's my concentration. I'm going to read out some names of a few of the artists that are joined up with JCAP. So if any young artists out there with the same old bourgeois behavior that, boy, this not going to work for me. Here's some of the names. Beanie Man, Ryan Mark, Jacure, Cecil, Luton Fire, Maca Diamond, DJ Nicholas, Prodigal Son, Taurus Riley, Jay Lee, Goody Goody, Mackie Conscious, to name a few. So there are some of the artists out there, a lot of artists out there in Jamaica who have come to see in the light and to understand what this whole issue of copyrights is all about. These are very few of the big names that are signed up with JCAP. I say to the young artists I'm out there, before you go into the studio and you start to reel off your lyrics, make sure you take the necessary steps to get your stuff, your creative, original stuff, copywritten. The rest of it, you go live your life and go sing and do whatever you want to do. But make sure you protect yourself, because this show is all about telling the artists, composers, musicians, anybody who's in the creative part of the music business, know your rights.
I want to come to Chris Hills. Chris, very quickly, because I want to call BBC to then add him to the call before he runs off. All right. Right. Now, what do you do with Kofi?
Right. The record label is set up for our artists primarily, or the people we work with. We do not, as the publisher or record label, take a single penny from their mechanical or intellectual copyright. End of story.
And I think it's very important to emphasize and explain what is mechanical. Okay, so
well, that's fundamentally where publishing deals get involved, and publishers take what percentage they want to negotiate. But we put ourselves outside of that. As the publisher, on their behalf, we only take an administration fee after we have paid their copyright entitlement.
Right.
End of story. We do not operate on the basis. We have no right to take any money from artists' creativity. We had no we had no hand in that process.
Right.
Well, that's what he set a good benchmark for record labels to follow. Record label is not necessarily be the copyright holder. They try and get it to sign it over to them, and a lot of these artists don't understand what they're signing. They sign things without any counsel, and if every record company behaves like him, then we wouldn't have the problems. But to strengthen and factually strengthen what we're talking about, mechanical rights and all of that, those are I'd research all the different links that breaks up the pie and show you what each person is supposed to get. And again, a lot of people don't understand what mechanical is. Mechanical is not what sell. You could press them, manufacture them, and keep them under your bed. You have to pay a minimum. I don't know if you have your link there of what, 10 cents per copy. Don't care what you want to do with it. No, I just sent a link about the revision rights of artists that signed into law, that all these artists now can go back and get free and clear ownership of all their masters. Don't care what artists, from the Beatles, whatever, they now becomes back the copyright owner of the product. It doesn't care who produced it or how much money they put into it.
And that's what I was going to further say. Like, there's this great, it's called, just go check it out, anybody. It's Free Advice, Intellectual Property, Music Law. And they bring up so much stuff. And if I can bring it up right here quick, they go through mechanical royalties, sync license. I mean, they basically arm you, and it's not just something that they just throw together. It's actually legally set. And even if they talk about mechanical royalties and the fact that, you know, you're owed so much for however many presses here, if I can read it for you right now.
Not what's
so anytime. Exactly. So here it says mechanical royalties. Record companies pay the publisher mechanicals based on the amount of phonograph records sold. Sales of sound recordings determined by the record companies through SoundScan and other sales reporting systems. Unlike most countries which base mechanical royalties on percentages, U.S. mechanical royalties are calculated on a penny basis per song. Record companies pay the recording artists either a current minimum statutory penny rate or a reduced penny rate. The current statutory rate for a U.S. copyright is 7.1 cents per song. This minimum rate is in effect until January 1st, 2000. After that, it will go up every 2 years until 2006, at which time it will remain at 1.9 cents per song until changed. So that means right now you get 9.1%, so 9 cents.
Basically, you're doing. They manufacture, not what they sell.
Yep. And that's not sales. That's, again, make sure that people are clear. That's mechanical. So if a guy presses you 300 times, he owe you basically a dime on each press, on each record that he presses.
Not what he said. He can keep them under his bed if he wants.
Right.
You see, this is what. Huh?
That's I say the manufacturer them now I forgot to be monitored because a man can't tell us press.
There you go.
That's my problem with Jamaica. That was the problem in Jamaica.
Let Fitzroy finish. Let's Fitzroy finish.
This is a point you in Jamaica with Tough Gang recording, Dynamics recording, GG's recording, Sonic Zone recording. That is why you give them a 1,000 label. And I'm gonna press your 1,000 label and still press an next 2,000.
By himself.
By himself.
That's ridiculous.
To Jamaica, that's ridiculous. I commend Roddy Campbell for choice of Jamaica, but Jamaica, that's why I don't even think about Jamaica because down there
it's a lost cause.
It's doggery, it's shenanigans.
Well, you know, make no mistake, you know.
I still not give up on them.
No, I don't say enough to give up enough.
Well, here's what.
That's why most a lot of these musicians, a lot of the great musicians we talk about today.
Yeah.
Them live in Jamaica. Them live in Florida.
Yeah, no, that's
but Fitzroy, to strengthen your point, this is what they tried with me already, and a lot of artists don't know this. Well, we only press 3,000. Okay, where's the damn receipt? Right? So when you supply the receipt, you have a right to say, where did you manufacture it? And now you have a right to see whoever manufactured it book. So when they tried it with me, and then the manufacturer is showing that you did one number, and you're showing that you did one number, then obviously somebody lying. I doubt seriously if the manufacturer going to put themselves in problems unless them in cahoots, right, with the record label, and sometimes that happens. So when they pull that, you have. They have to show you both things. See, I don't take anything from record company by word of mouth. So science is too difficult to deal with because you can't just send me a royalty check and say $500. Okay, how did you come to $500? Or what did it sell for? Or how much did you get? And after in time, They won't showing you how much they make. So scientists become a very difficult guy to deal with because he's going to want to see everything, and you can't just write something on a piece of paper. Like most of these artists don't actually they're not bright. This is where Lady G probably could come in with this program. For all these artists who don't know about the paperwork and all of that, if we could set up something and find some way to compensate Lady G for her time to take in all the paperwork from all these artists who don't want to do the homework and thing and go register it for them. You have companies who do that, but it comes with a cost to the artist.
Are you talking about registering their copyrights?
Well, we are on their behalf, because a lot of artists, you put these paperwork in front of them and it's like they're reading gibberish. They don't understand.
I'm glad you brought that point up, because again, as I said, the young Jamaican artists them coming up, that is what the membership department, when I first came into this business, my first producer sat me down at his dining table and explained a whole lot about copyrights and copyrights. When I left his house, I felt like I needed to go live in a rubber room, because it was absolutely confusing what he said to me. What I did, and this is where I'm begging the artists them to take the initiative to go. I went and I called my copyright company. I said, can I speak to someone from the membership department? Their job is to explain everything to you at grassroots level, so even a 5-year-old child can understand it. So what I'm saying to the artists them is to go to the copyright company before you even register anything you don't understand, ask questions, because they're there to explain everything to you.
Yep.
And if anything goes wrong after, because even if you register, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. However, what they've done by you registering your work with the company is that they have taken off the load off of your shoulder. They become the police. They become your global police. They watch what happens to your music. I just read the article a while ago. Over $180 million was paid out to members of JCAP in Jamaica, which tells me that there are artists in Jamaica who are getting their royalties. What happened to the rest of people then?
Well, good point. And to strengthen your point that you talk about the amount of money that was paid to the American companies versus what they pay. Could you repeat that number again?
Okay, so there's an article that came out by I think it's the president of JCAP. Give me 1 second. Let me read again. 1 quick second. So the title is, it's in the Jamaica Gleaner. It titles "Artists Suffer at the Hands of Radio / Royalties Go Overseas as Stations Play More International Music." And it reads, and I quote, "The chairman of the Jamaica Association of Composers, Authors and Publishers, JCAP, Paul Barkley, is urging local radio to play more Jamaican music in order to increase returns from royalties. According to the chairman of JCAP's recent open house forum, JCAP had to pay 65% of the almost $150 million collected in royalties to overseas creators." Let me read that again. According to the chairman of JCAP recent open house forum, JCAP had to pay 65% of the almost $150 million collected in royalties to overseas creators because not enough Jamaican music is being played. Although the issue is one that has been raised over several occasions with distinct cultural overtones as the basis, this time was different because Barclay's comments came in the light of solid financial disclosures. Financial disclosures which revealed that a large percentage of the money collected by JCAP had been sent overseas to JCAP's affiliates, rather than staying in Jamaica and being shared up among the collector agency's local members. Imagine what 50% of that money could do to alleviate the hardships of our Jamaican creators and improve our economy status if more local music is played on our stations, the JCAP chairman said. And it went on and it goes on.
Yeah. Well, to fix that problem, it's simple. Remember, General's talking about
register.
The Piola system, right? Where this jockey, if him don't grease somebody's hand, he don't get play. That need to stop. The record that they say you're supposed to have a program director or a program manager that put all the music into a rotation. When you bring on BB Seaton later, then me and BB Seaton can probably get into when we were trying to uphold this and to push this through, and we are even trying to get a minimum skill set for all musicians can play under this money. So in order for that to work, and we've been saying this from back in them time, how come we in Jamaica and we hearing all these American songs and we working in all these songs in the studio and they're not being played? Right? Because of the payola system that needs to get mashed up. Jamaica, hey, make no mistake, you know. Here are the people who put out the most music in the world. America, Jamaica, and England. People don't really listen to Cuban music and the rest of music. It don't have the same thing. Is reggae and American music pretty much dominate everything? Am I wrong? Where is Mr. Chin music? Nobody not listening to Mr. Thai music or Mr. Japanese music. And what you find happening, all of these other countries that don't have an identity with music for themselves, they own reggae and they're claiming reggae and they're playing reggae. So the most popular music in the world is between American and Jamaican music. What it look like Jamaica is even putting out more music than America, because when it take us just 5 days to complete a whole album, the average guy in the studio in America for 5 years and he probably don't even finish one song. So when you look at the amount of song, right, that Jamaica put out over the time, right, they need to build more radio stations. They need to put these music in constant rotation, going all the way back to Mento.
Yeah.
Right, that these musicians now can start to collect them pension.
Another part of the article goes on to read, the chairman also encouraged local artists to attend the seminars hosted by the relevant collection societies so they can be educated on their rights as creators. He believed ignorance has left some artists under the impression that foreign collecting societies are more effective. They have the notion that foreign societies are better, not realizing that all the revenue that goes to foreign societies from Jamaica is collected by the local society, JCAP. There's a huge advantage in joining the local society, since the matter of minimum payments to individuals does not impact one as a member of his or her local society, he concluded. He says a number of free training seminars on copyright that have been conducted by several organizations. However, these seminars have been poorly supported by local artists.
Well, it's a problem that me and BB Seaton was having back then, because me and BB Seaton tried to set a scale that say no musician work under this, and somebody have a bill to pay, and before them a buy it and stick by the time you know it, a musician want to work for less than what the scale that we're trying to set.
Yeah, and PRS is not in Jamaica anymore. PRS was taken over by JCAP.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, yes, it needs something like that to happen. It needs something like that to happen where the local artists then must attend these meetings.
That's right.
But again, when you look at some of the academic standard of some of these artists, and then their lyrics talk everything about them. All right. I don't believe in making. Look, let me leave it at this. They need to attend these meetings.
They need to.
It's stupid not to. It's stupid not to, man. It's stupid not to.
Sorry, Lady G.
The law is extremely complicated. Entertainment law. So, and even me as a legal person, I'm having to listen very closely to keep up with everything that's being said. And I think people get overwhelmed because I'm imagining myself as an artist. And boy, if I really and truly, most of these artists, they go into it because they love what they do. And when you start thinking about all of this information and these things that you have to know, I got to know the difference between mechanical rights, and I got to know about my intellectual property rights, and I got to copyright and YouTube and all of this stuff. It's like, gosh, I don't want to be bothered with that. Just give me something to play, and I'll deal with that, and I'll worry about in 20 years what I'm going to do about my retirement. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because it is so complicated. So if there's a way to simplify it now, you know, and that that's.
Well, this is why Fitzroy is right. You see, there is certain minimal things the artists must do for themselves. It's like brushing your teeth before you come to the studio, right? Nobody want to smell your breath. So you write a song. Right? You write a song.
No, but what this is the reason why.
Yeah, again, a lot of and before you go say this, it's a Jamaican artist. We have a lot of bad principle about us because a man will go into the studio and go voice a tune because you don't know spread the moment. Spread the moment. A man go studio and hear a man rhythm and him just go record.
Yeah, big mistake.
Yes. On your eye thing. This is big. On your eye.
It's going back to strengthen what you do.
Yeah,
right? Before you put an artist on your record or before you make it disclose public because of the same reason, you go on what you do fits right.
You see, an artist I work with, them have to show me them lyrics first. I'm not record artists unless them lyrics copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now producer. That's why I'm gonna produce a whole of artists.
Brilliant.
So here comes that word copyright again.
Eh?
Right.
But here comes that word copyright again, which I agree with Fitzroy 110%. You know, and if we can start cleaning up the business one by one, because I'm in the studio already recording, and you know, even before I start record, a rhythm is playing, not my rhythm, but a rhythm is playing, and an artist walking, and boy, with the mic, and all of a sudden start playing, I go, yo, time out. Yeah. Oh, you know this man is not recording your lyrics, and tomorrow morning you hear it on the radio, and you have no rights to it.
Okay.
So it comes back to what Lady G was saying earlier. It's a load of information. Here is all, because I am from Jamaica. I'm a born Jamaican. I never known nothing about copyrights and royalties and nothing until when I came to Canada. And even when I first heard it in 2008, I was absolutely confused. However, I decided to take the advice of my first producer and follow up on this thing. Now, this is 2015. I have collected my royalties. I have been paid my royalties. So what I'm saying to the young artists is, first, this is going to be a step-by-step process. Here's step number 1. Do not record your music or your lyrics until it is copywritten. That's step number 1. Step number 2, 3, 4, and 5 will come as you go along.
Right. That is why I say the very bare minimum that you have to do is go sign up with a copyright agency like JCAP.
Right.
That's right. That's like basic.
Yep.
You have to do that for yourself. You have to. These artists need to stop playing star guy. And then hear what the problem with some of these artists are. Somebody like Fitzroy take them up as a no-name, turn them into a household name, and then the ego start get to him head and then believe is him make himself.
Yeah, we all have a little bit of that. We have a little bit of that.
That happened to dealing with the music. Daily.
Yeah. Ego is not such a bad thing.
That's why I talk about occurring as we speak. Artists nobody know about them. And Mightyful to make people know about them, and yet see them act like them bigger than Mightyful 13.
That's something that you're not going to be able to get rid of.
But you call them artists, they are starlight.
Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast, you know, as far as the music industry is concerned. But again, as I say, I want the young artists them to listen to this program, listen to what we're saying. Do not try and process all the information, but here is step 1. Step 1 is, before you record your music, go get it copywritten. Go register your music. Then you move to step 2.
Yeah. But hey, check this. In Jamaica, if you look at Jamaica copyright law, them say only thing the artists have to do is mail a copy to themselves.
You see, that to me, that's a bunch of bourgeois. I've heard that. That's been going on for years, and I, for one, don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. Just go copyright music. Just
Well,
go
yeah,
copy
just go copyright the music. Just
go
take the
copyright the
time
music.
out, take the 15 minutes, go
Yeah.
to one of the society, and this is my lyric sheet, and this is my name. You must do that. It's just as I say. It's like taking a shower, brushing your teeth before you come to the studio. You don't expect the producer to do that for you, right? So.
Okay. I tell you what I'm
Now,
gonna do right now.
For all the artists, sorry G, just before I
very
come
quickly,
off. For all the artists in Jamaica who don't know where JCap is, get your pen and paper. If you're a female artist, get your eyebrow pencil, your lipstick, anything that can write. JCap office is at 21 Conley, Connoley Avenue. It's in Kingston 4, Jamaica, West Indies. General manager is Linda Rose. You want to send them an email? You want to send them an email? It's jcap@jcapjamaica.com. If you want to send Miss Rose, the general manager, a direct email, it's lrose@jcapjamaica.com, and it's all in lowercase. Phone numbers to reach JCap. Get your pen and paper. 876-948-6439 or 876-948-5937. If you want to send them a fax, it's 876-922-1638, 1638.
Yeah, and
there's a cell phone, there's a Digicel number, which is 876-578-4917. Those are all the contact information.
But again, this only apply to the people who live in Jamaica. Now for the UK and America, it would be ASCAP. And who is there again? Fitzroy for UK, MCPS.
Well, I'm concentrating, as you all know, I'm concentrating on Jamaica. So if anybody else on the panel have information about BMI and ASCAP or PRS, then you can.
Well, from Merca, it would be ASCAP and BMI. And then for the UK is what for Fitzroy? MCPS and PRS.
MCPS, PRS.
And PLL for the musicians.
Yeah.
The PLL part is for the musicians, for like the Flabber Holt, the Robbie Shakespeare, all of them. You see, they miss out on a lot of money because they never know anything about this language. They just go into the studio, play, as we say, no registration. So PLL collecting all this money and don't know that Sly and Robbie and the different people must get it. Right. And then what we figured out, certain individuals, they go and they register it in their name, been collecting this money for years, and the people going to continue paying to them because they ain't getting on all opposition. I won't call it a name, but somebody been busted in that has very, very high stature. When you see this guy coming, you see him coming in his suit and tie, the biggest goddamn crook.
Now, a couple of weeks back, I posted the information for JCAP. I posted the information for ASCAP, and I posted the information for SOCAN. General culture, what is the UK equivalent
of
PRS, right?
So
PRS.
PRS. It is
PRS
yeah.
and PPL.
And MCPS.
PPL, yeah.
No, hang on. Before you all get confused, PRS and MCPS are joined together. They're the same company. PPL is the separate one. PPL is free to join.
Yeah.
PRS, there's a £40, I think it is.
£50, I think it is.
£50 registration fee.
So let me do PPL. PP as in Peter, L as in London, right?
Yeah.
So I'm coming up with
the thing that I want all the artists out there to understand, all these societies, BMI, ASCAP, PPL, PRS, SOCAN in Canada, CMRRA in Canada, JCAP in Jamaica, they are all a network. They share information on a daily basis.
Right.
So if you sign up with JCAP in Jamaica and your music is playing on BBC radio in England, JCAP know about it. Because they all have a responsibility to each other.
They just don't know who to give the money to because nobody not
But no, but
registered.
we're talking about a registered member now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to the unregistered members, if you want to be a part of this melting pot of the societies of copyright companies where you have your rights and you want your royalties, then the only way you're going to get it is if you register your stuff, because all these societies, they are a network, just like the Stockade Radio and the Conscious Partners Network, where we stream to each other. They stream to each other and they stream information from one to the other. Right now, Jamaica is on a watch list by the Congress in some department of America because of the usage of a lot of foreign music being played publicly in Jamaica, and they're not paying royalties for it.
Well, again, this is where me and BBC was trying to clear. But here's what happened with that. Whenever you sing over like a Smokey Robinson song, right? The reason why they end up on the watch list is because before the producer go and manufacture the song, him needed us to pay a certain amount to Harry Fox. And as you know, a bunch of Jamaica song is made up of cover songs. Now, the mechanical has not been paid on that.
Yep.
And it's why they end up on the watch list. And then when it doesn't matter if 10 different people do it over, each time that producer, that record company want to manufacture a copy of that, they're supposed to go look for Harry Fox or the equivalent of Harry Fox and pay that, not on sales. Just
No,
like in time we did with Baltimore the other day, we had to go pay Harry Fox X amount of dollars to manufacture.
Right. Now, on the flip side of all of that, where Jamaica is on the watch list by playing North American music or American music and is not trying to go under the radar with doing it and not paying the royalties. On the flip side of that, which I just recently found out after doing some research, is that in a country like Spain, a lot of Jamaican artists' music is being reproduced or sing over in Spain in Spanish. So JCAP is also looking after that. They're also going after that. They're talking with the necessary and the relevant people in Spain as far as that is concerned, because it has become an epidemic. And it is happening in a lot of non-English speaking countries where they're taking reggae music and they're doing it over in whatever the native language is. So JCAP is on top of that. This is why it's important for Jamaican artists and musicians and composers and what have you, go register your stuff. Me nah stop say that until everybody get it. Go register your stuff.
Yeah, Dudes, I don't know if you find this, but here's what needs to happen when you go inside of a studio. What I do now is give the musician what they call a work registration form, where everybody's role is listed. You're a bass player, you're a percussionist, you're a keyboardist, you're a musician, you're an engineer. It has everybody's role there, and you register that. You put everybody what they're going to do in the work registration form. Then that go to the ASCAP or the BMI, over that person's collecting society is. Now, what that does is when that music is played on the radio, like PPL, they collect that money and they divide it up into all the musicians. But just imagine if Flabberwood, they must start registering them song. They would be sitting up for the next 20 years registering, and they wouldn't even scratch the surface. So it's a lot of money they miss out on by not registering a song. What it boiled down to, none of us had the education at that time. I even know that these things exist.
Right. I tell you what I want to do right now. I want to prize you away from that because we have a guest in the building. I'm unable to get hold of BBC at this time, but we do have Phil Calendar.
Bless up, Phil.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Phil.
Yeah, man.
What?
Good afternoon. Nice to be here.
And we have Fitzroy Francis here. We have Lady General. We have the scientist Roddy Campbell, Christopher Hills, and W. Dooza. Okay, in the building. And Phil, it's an absolute pleasure to have your presence on this show today.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, and you're somebody whom I've had a conversation with, and you know, you shared so much information, but also what kind of resonated with me is the fact that you know, you were hard done by in the industry as well. And I guess you still share and carry that pain with you. Part of this show, which is called the Reggae Biz Talk Show, is about arming the artists with information about, you know, securing themselves, so that hopefully at some stage the music can become their pension. Yeah. In terms of what you have been through, just share with us some of the mistakes that you've made in the industry, and just share with the people who you are and in what you've done and so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, my name is Phil Callender, and I'm a musician primarily, and I am also a vocalist and a producer. And I started out as a drummer at Studio One, and moved up on and started my own band, my own group, and went into my own recordings. And over the years, it's been over 35 years and more, 40 years, so to speak, that I've been in the business. And I have to say that, first of all, I've learned so much by just listening to what you guys were saying a while ago, and realizing that I've been through a lot of stuff in the past. I made so many mistakes because not knowing and understanding about the business aspect of the music. And I have to say that in many cases, the managers and the producers and the publishers that I was involved with, they didn't give me a clear understanding of how the business was made out of. And I was in the dark as to what my the rewards that that I was entitled to. I didn't fully understood that, so I made a lot of mistakes and signed contracts, right? And compromised myself in that aspect. In one era in particular, as you're listening to you guys a while ago, is the awareness of the society that musicians need to join in order for them to collect on their royalties. You know? So in some of the many of the countries, yes.
Yeah, can you tell us one of the songs or some of the songs you played with at Studio One?
Okay, as a drummer, I played on a lot of songs. So too many to mention, but I can name a few. Sata Masagana, Full Up.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But let me straighten your point. I used to work with Coxon too. Studio One, if we're talking about Clement Dad, right? 13 Brentford Road, right? Right.
Yes.
Mr. Dad, he gave a lot of people a start, including me and a whole bunch of us. But when you take up a Studio One record, it does two things. If you never come to this, tell us this, would I say, who the hell is this guy? Just like when I tell people, well, all of Freddie McGregor stuff, the Sugar Minot stuff, the Michigan and Smiley stuff, is I work on it. What Coxon was doing was leaving off everybody's name off the record.
Yes. That's
that do a injustice. Now, if you go and try to register one of those songs, who's going to believe you?
That's right. So I suffered over the years in regards to that. And only now I'm still just trying to unravel all of that mess, you know?
Yeah, well, I know Carol and them, they're stuck with the mess, because if people like you now start going to Carol Dad and say, hey, I play on this and I would like to collect my PL money or my performance money, she herself wouldn't even know where to start. Not unless you're like a singer or somebody that like a Dan Drummond's or what the next guy there, Chico, that have a distinctive thing, then you get left out of all that money and all that history. Because every time I tell people I used to work at Studio One, it's like a joke to them, because your name don't come on the records.
That's right.
So how do you even begin to start the wheels in motion, Phil?
Well, as I had shared before on the other show, that the musicians, all of us, we stick together and we promote each other. So we, in other words, we spread the word in the various interviews that we may, do over the years, right?
Yeah.
And we would let the people know that such and such a person played on that song as a drummer or a guitarist or a bass player. And I find yes?
Yeah, let me ask you. You say you and a couple of the musicians still together?
When I say together, I mean we interact together from over the years.
That played on the record.
Right. Right.
Okay, so what both of you say is different from an individual going and say I played on this record. But if a group of people that either still playing together that probably can play the same drum, play the same bass line, then I think you all have a chance where you all still can go register that thing with a different performance, right? The only problem with is do you write the law, and I don't agree with all the write the law, is that you can only go back X amount of time. The only thing that does is to allow the collecting society to hold on to your money, and I don't think that's right. Because they collected the money, so they should be able to pay it out.
Yeah, I agree on that. One advantage that I find that went okay for me is that because groups like maybe with prominent names like the Heptones or Willie Williams, big names, people in the business, they might be conducting an interview and they would say that I was the drummer. And then it's put online, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, over the years, it's registered. Well, it's been mentioned in some websites like Discogs and so, because of the promotion of what the musicians they're over the years, promoting the various other musicians. So I find that when I join societies like PPL, and when I register a song and I register, okay, I play on Full Up or I play on Real Rock, right? Automatically, I don't have to supply any form of proof, because when I check back on in some other websites, it's already on Discogs because of the conversations that were online.
Well, you see what they do, because nobody challenge it, then they just give you the benefit of the doubt, and this is a loophole. And this is a loophole where a lot of people, sorry, we can't really expose who the character is, but you have this individual, he make a killing out of going and registering people's song, and then when he get his hands caught in a cookie jar for trying to register Earl Zero, none shall escape the judgment, then that is when everybody starts looking at everything else he doing.
Yes, I know about that. So
yeah, so you should go register them, and I think they're going to keep paying you just as long as there's no opposition.
Yeah, I have not had any opposition recently, but I take it that probably in the past I would have had some.
But who is the opposition? Because nobody is not supposed to oppose you. A musician oppose you, or a record company oppose you.
Sometimes I might have a musician who oppose me in terms of there's a mix up in terms of who played on a specific song. A musician may claim and say he was the drummer and Sata Masagana.
Of the exact same version or a cover version of Sata Masagana.
Well, that's a good point to bring up. But I take it that the more popular versions that are being played, right? I take it that when they claim that they play on it, they are probably referring to that. So.
Probably, but again, it's the same rule in play. Smokey Robinson write a song, and Freddie McGregor sing over Smokey Robinson song 30 years ago. It's not Freddie McGregor's song. And if you play back all your drum licks and all of that stuff there and play back the same composition, it's the same rule in play. Like, again, a lot of people believe that is Sly and Robbie create Taxi. That's not true.
Okay.
Taxi was created by Fully and Santa Davis. Right?
Yeah.
So if any money or every time there's a derivative or anybody play over the bass line, anything, that money is like what it would go to the songwriter, is the same rule apply. It would go to the people who originally created the song. Now, to dig further into what you're talking now, I don't know if Coxon knew this or he premeditated this, But I can now see where when we educate a lot of musicians that these record companies going to pick up Coxsone Rule and not put their name on the music. And this is why the work registration form comes in at the time of the session. And furthermore, what all these musicians must do is record a copy of it and go register that with your copyright house. So if the producer want to play smart and don't put your name on it, then you have something to back you up.
Yeah.
But can't that be made illegal for them not to put the correct information on?
Yes, a lot of time what they do, they change the title of the name, and then you have to get in your copyright society and say also known as. And why it's important, like what going back to what Fitzroy doing with his approach, and I even start doing the same thing. If I'm picking up a young artist and the first thing I said to them, go on the internet, go search what you write and put in producer right, artist right. And then I won't sign a contract with somebody unless them go have a liar or somebody, because I don't want to hear that I took advantage. And then how I do my thing is you own 100% of your writing if you write it. If we create the music, the people who create the music with us, them own 100% of the thing them create. And then here is our share as a label, and here's your share as an artist, no less than 14% suggested retail price.
I want to come back to Phil. With your experience and what you've been through, what advice would you give to the artists out there in terms of conducting their business, right? Because it doesn't go far enough just going into the studio and say, yeah, I just love doing this. I love going into the studio to voice music. You can go there for as long as you want, but if you ain't securing yourself, you ain't going to get paid. So what best advice can you give to the artist?
Okay, first of all, I would say specifically for the artists, the singers, be careful about what kind of a contract that you sign up with whoever you sign with, whether it be a manager, a producer, or worse, even a publisher. In my case, I was linked to a publisher and producer and manager all in one. And as a young musician,
that's a conflict of interest right here.
Right. As a young musician back in the early days, I didn't understand the whole aspect of the business side of the music. So I just took it in just thinking that he was looking after my interest, and he gave me some contracts with some fine clauses and fine prints and information that I didn't understand. And I signed them, and not realizing that I was signing away my PRS and my publishing over to him.
To who? Yeah. To who? The manager?
Yeah. In other words, in many cases, that's
illegal. That's illegal. Here in California, that is illegal.
Well, I understand that now, but back in the days, I'm talking about back in the 70s.
But even going back then, it's been a conflict of interest where you can't be a booking agency and a manager at the same time, and be a manager producer at the same time. That's a direct conflict of interest.
Yeah, right. I've learned that about that mistake the hard way.
So let me understand. Let me see if I understand it. As a result, how long now since you signed that contract?
Well, it has been 35 years and more.
You signed a contract that you didn't understand that says...
Didn't understand. What I understood at the time as a musician, I just had the whole notion of just sales. So I was figuring, okay, I'll be getting a certain percentage of the sales of the song. And that was the only thing that I understood. Not really, even when it comes to stock, not even, yeah.
What was your role? What was your role with that contract that you signed?
Okay, well, I was the leader of the band, and I was the main songwriter. And,
I want to understand clear. Were you a singer? Were you a songwriter?
Yeah, a songwriter and a singer and a musician also.
Okay.
It was regards of a band, right? We're all in
I get that part. I'm just trying to understand. So you, as a singer songwriter, this scumbag, as I would have clearly call him in front or behind him face, gets you, the innocent person, to sign over everything to him, and he is collecting your money, and with the ignorance within that existing law, that's something right in German, everything is right in English, and then you get to a part that's written in German that was not defined. He now gets to keep all of your money, and they're saying you can't get to do nothing to it because you signed a contract. That was part of it was written in German.
Well, yeah, basically. And there's another situation that I was not advised as to what societies I should join to protect myself. For instance, PRS and so forth. So I didn't even know that there was a society called PRS or any such society that did all of what it was doing. And I was ignorant to all of that. And so when I signed the contract now, I found out years after now, when I beginning to understand the business a little more, that you was collecting half of my PRS. And I didn't, up to this day, I have not collected no MCPS royalties at all whatsoever. You know?
Well, I don't know if anybody, did you still link there post Roddy about all rights reserved back to artists? You seen that link?
It's on there. And what Phil can do is just go on. Where are you, Phil? Where are you located?
I'm in Jamaica.
Okay, so go on the Jacob. I'm gonna put it on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it to you in your inbox. Just go on the Jacob page and it gives you everything.
Yeah, but there's a different link that all record get all record companies nervous right now because of situations like yours, where the law is that if you go and register, all rights revert back to you.
This one,
the best thing for Phil to do is again to get it from the people who know the inside story. So what Phil should do is go to the Jacob office and ask to speak to somebody from the membership department and just explain to them everything. Because when they explain something to you in Jacob in Jamaica, what that does, it gives you a bounce off of what's going on in the rest of the world, because they're all a network. So they will tell you what your rights are in Jamaica, what your rights are in England, what your rights are in the States, and what your rights are in Canada.
Yeah, you first need to become a member of JCAP.
Yeah.
And then
can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes, Phil.
Yes. I understand that, but I just need to say that during the years, I had made some efforts to pursue what was rightfully mine. And I got the services of some lawyers over the years to try to rectify some of the problems that I was, suffering from.
Was that an entertainment lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So particularly, I made, for instance, I have joined PRS, and I'm a member of PPL now and all of that.
Are you a member of JCAP?
No.
Yeah, you should register in JCAP because you're living in Jamaica.
You should register JCAP.
Yeah. Register with JCAP.
Yeah. Okay. No, if I'm going to register with JCAP, I'm going to give up PRS.
That's what I understood.
Well, you have members who are joined up, like I'm joined up with SOCAN, and I'm also joined up with BMI. So find out if you have to do that first.
JCAP, listen already, JCAP, PRS is still JCAP in Jamaica.
Yes.
So once he's a member of PRS, he's also a member of JCAP.
Okay. But what Phil should do is go to the office, to the JCAP office, and confirm that.
Yes. Let's get him
go to the office.
CAE number. CAE number, and submit that to JCAP, and they will
confirm it.
Yeah, right. But one thing, this guy that you signed the thing, he's still alive?
Yeah.
He probably don't even have a copy of that contract. And then with the new law, I put up does anybody have the link that I just pressed? With the new law, You can go back and claim back all your property now because of the same exact thing like what happened to you that happened to Aretha Franklin and everybody else. So the U.S. Congress write this thing. I put the link again. Roddy, can you see it?
Also,
let me check.
Also,
Yeah.
Lady General. Is Lady General there?
Yes, I'm here.
I need you to give the listeners the Reggae Talk Show Facebook page so that they can go there for any further information. Please give them that info right now, please.
Okay, the link, put it in the chat room, you mean?
No, just say it live on air.
Oh, I see. It's I put the link in there as well. It's the Reggae Business Talk Show. Okay, the Reggae Business Talk Show. It's a like page on Facebook. I've put the link also into the chat room, and you know, we're posting information that we've discussed in this show, and also a bunch of other links that might be helpful to you. Okay.
Okay, I also want to make mention of the disclaimer, and I want to say this before we go any further. The information on this program is provided for informational purposes and does not constitute legal advice. The views and opinions expressed on this program are for those persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Stockade Promotions or Stockade Promotions Radio or its Stockade staff. Okay, I just wanted to make mention of that. So yes, we can continue. We've got a few more minutes. We've got about 30 minutes before we go off air. Phil.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for appearing on the show. And is there anything else you wanted to make mention? Because I know you wanted to say a bit more.
Okay, just quickly. Just to explain a little bit more about my situation.
Yeah.
And when I went into the PRS page, conducting my business,
yeah,
I saw that there were some options there for me to dispute some stuff that was on the page that I didn't think was that was very not good for me in terms of my royalties, and I disputed it, and I was trying to amend it, and then I was written they wrote me a letter, PRS, telling me that I need to send them some information about the production that I was involved with, and I did that. And then they write me again and said I need to get some lawyers to write a formal letter to them certifying that these music, but I was the original author for the music. And I did all of that, and I pursued 3 different lawyers over the years to no avail, and then nothing has come out of it. I even met with the person, the producer himself, and with the lawyer in one occasion, and tried to rectify the business and to straighten it out, and thought that something would have come out of it, and nothing has come out of it over the years. So in other words, yeah.
Let me ask you, what particularly were you trying to straighten out? Because if it's a matter of you are a performer, then if it's not no work file in place, then PPL is supposed to pay the money.
Well, okay. The main stuff that I was trying to clear up was music that I wrote as a songwriter.
Are you talking about lyrics?
Lyrics and music and lyrics.
Okay.
The person was collecting half of my PRS, and I didn't know that was possible. That a publisher could collect half of your PRS, and you are the writer, and he's just a publisher.
Well, usually what 10 to 15% he's supposed to get. So where's the other half of the money going?
No, I was getting half, and you would one half. He was getting half of it, and in some cases I was getting none.
Well, a contract is whatever 2 people agree on. There's no law that say you can't give him 80% and you take 20%. But the rule is he's not supposed to get no more than 10 to 15%.
Well, he was collecting 50 and in some cases
No.
100%.
Scientists, you know why that happened? When he register the work, he register 50% as the author. That's
Right.
why. With the
I
PRs.
was just about to say that.
That's why you get that.
Because he was the one that registered the work.
Yes. And
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
worksheet, them tell you that you see that authorship.
Yeah.
So he should
Right.
have done that. He should have put his name as the sole
Yeah.
owner, but he didn't do that because he consent him to administer for him and he robbed him.
Yep.
Right, and this is because he didn't know his right.
Yeah, he robbed
That's
him.
right.
That's
You're
robbery.
right.
That's robbery. So, what you can do, you know, is put in a claim against
No,
it.
what he should do is go and re-record that song and re-register it.
Yep.
Yeah, or even re-register it, because you see the problem is with ASCAP or whoever it register, there is no other claim. There is nobody contesting anything. So they are under fear assumption. Then that's the way it is. But if you now go and say, well, then I just discovered that this person registered all this to himself, and all these other members left out, then they might start looking into it and want to overturn it.
Yeah.
But without any opposition, they're going to just hold a position that is where it is. So you need to file an opposition to that.
And also, over the years, all of these years, I've received no statements at all from the person as a musician or as an artist or anything.
Well, here's what good about that. He violated his contract.
So what happens in a violation?
Well, you breach the contract. He breached it because if he agreed to give you a statement, say every 90 days, every 3 months, whatever it is, or do whatever he agreed to in a contract, and he's not doing it, then he breaches one contract. If that makes
None are void.
None are void because you breach a contract.
Also, and need to mention on the contracts, I signed 2 contracts over the years. There was no date on the contract.
Well, again, yeah, no date with no contract.
It's not valid. That's not valid. And the lawyer should help you.
Yeah, it has to be notarized.
The lawyer did say that
everything.
the lawyer did say that they could help me in regards to that, but nothing came out of it.
Yeah, but you have to understand how the lawyer business works. The lawyer wants to buy his wife a new mink coat, and he wants a new Benz.
New car.
And
New
that's
car.
true.
So for him to maintain his lawyer
but scientists, what about a lawyer seeing that the client is being mistreated and give him a contingency agreement?
Well, that's usually a liar. That's usually a liar that's willing to take the gamble.
Okay.
Right? But the liar...
You have these liars who say, all right, I have your right, and you can win that case. You say, all right, I'm going to take 25% off.
Well, it's a third. That third he's supposed to take.
You know? According to the agreement, you know?
Yeah, whatever you make the agreement, if you want to give him 50%.
The agreement will really fit for his case. If him not on money front, you know?
Yeah.
I have a question for sorry scientist. I have a question for Phil. You still there?
Yeah.
I know it's been a long quite some time now, but when those both contracts were signed, did you get copies of those contracts?
Okay, I had them. Unfortunately, when I met up with one of the lawyers, right? The lawyer to this day they still have those contracts.
Oh shit!
Wow. Yeah, you need to get those contracts back.
The lawyer is supposed.
I know that.
Where's the lawyer? Jamaica, you say, right?
Well, I don't know where that lawyer is now. It's supposed to be in Jamaica.
But here's what.
It's a long story.
In America, the lawyer have to hold the document for up to 5 years.
Yeah, it's
Then
about.
he has to give it back.
It's 5 years. It's over 5 years now.
Okay, so here's what. Here's what you do. Contact the guy and ask him to send you a copy of the contract. Chances are him probably don't have it either.
Well,
that's why I asked the question.
That was another problem because when I that lawyer gave me a contract when I thought that the person was working on my behalf. That lawyer gave me some set of contracts for me to read and to sign. And
Why, he was representing both parties?
Well, he was supposed to be representing me.
But he was representing the other guy, the opponent?
No, I don't know. Not that I don't think so.
Yeah,
But,
well, lawyer gonna have you sign some document before them can do anything for you. Them legally have to have you sign.
No, I understand that. No, I understand that, and I thought that was what the lawyer was doing. Only to find out that because that lawyer did tell me that I would have to sign a contract with them, and the they will be taking out a percentage to do the job, and I agreed on that.
That's contingency.
Right, but I got another set of contracts. And when I read the contracts, only to find out that those contracts were publishing contracts. In other words, so I have not collected no publishing.
Hold on. The lawyer is giving you a publishing contract?
Yeah, one of the contracts, right? In other words, I went all the way with the lawyer, working out all the business with that lawyer, including having 2 meetings with the person. And we come to a compromise in regards to what would, an agreement.
Let me see if I can figure out what's going on. A song like Satamasagana done over so many times. Lawyers don't usually enter into publishing agreement that what the lawyer was going to collect your publishing.
No, the publishing. No, wait a minute. I'm talking with regards to not the songs that I played on as a musician, of the songs that I wrote.
Well, any song that you write, the lawyer was going to do with the publishing. He was going to collect the publishing.
In other words, the lawyer assured me that over the years, the publishing that I did not collect, that I would get some form of compensation for that.
Yeah, but who is going to collect it for you?
Well, the lawyer, I got the impression that the lawyer would. On my behalf.
No. So you see, that's the problem right there. Because if the lawyer look into one of your songs like Satamatagana and say this been published so much time, the lawyers usually don't collect that money. This is where the ASCAP and the other people comes in.
That's where the societies come in. Yeah,
I've never heard of anything like that in my life.
I've never heard of that before.
I never heard about a lawyer doing that. But you see, you have to understand the difference between a lawyer and an attorney. Attorney, they can flip-flop on any side. And this is why I tell the artists they have to know the law for themselves. Because I had lawyers try to tell me foolishness. And when I go and research law and tell the lawyer, no court in America can overturn the Supreme Court. Oh, you should have gone and been a lawyer then, because I insulted intelligence. In other words, he's a stupid lawyer if you can't say a lower court can overturn the U.S. Supreme Court. So you have to know what the rule is. So when you go talk to these lawyers and put something in front of you, say the lawyer going to now collect your publishing money.
I've never heard of that before.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah. Was that
as a matter of fact, that's illegal.
Yes. Well, there is more. There is more.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Phil, go on. Sorry, Phil.
There is more.
Hold on.
I see coming to Jamaica that understand music, entertainment, lifestyle, barrier. All the rest of them don't know what them doing. Trust me.
A lot of them is true. But let me hear what them have to say. What is more to it?
No,
why is it Lady G?
Go ahead, Phil. Let Phil talk, please.
I was saying that there is a little more, because when I read the publishing contracts that was presented to me, I realized that lawyer wanted for me to sign over my publishing to them.
Oh,
and I refused.
What?
I refused.
You see, the truth is
good
move.
Good move.
Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
But when I refused now, right?
And he stopped representing.
I tried to contact that lawyer after, and that lawyer was hiding from me and was blocking me.
Well,
so I couldn't even retrieve my contracts from the lawyer to this day.
God.
Now it makes sense.
Well, here's what. You can fire a lawyer at any time,
Even within that 5-year period.
I understand that, but I'm saying I can't even get my contracts back.
So well, I don't know about in Jamaica, but a lawyer have to keep have up to 5 years to keep your contract, you pay whatever, and he must give it to you back.
It's been over 5 years now. It's about 7 years.
Well, I'm home free. This is the foolishness in the law that I don't agree with. Statute of limitation. Statute of limitation only protects the guilty and punishes the victim of the crime.
Scientist, one thing I can advise anyone who have a contract, before you give a liar, copy it and keep one for yourself too.
Yep. Keep one for yourself, because here's what happened.
Keep two.
The
keep
other
three,
side
keep
can buy
four.
out your lawyer.
All right. Yes.
Definitely. Lady Gemma, what you saying?
You have to make sure that the contract is a legal binding contract. In other words, for a contract to be legal and binding and to be able to bring enforcement upon it, it has to be signed and dated by all parties.
By
sometimes
both
the attorney, sometimes the attorney will give you a copy of the contract that you signed, but there are no other signatures on it.
Right. And it's not a draft.
That is not the legal copy of the contract.
Yeah,
so you have to make sure. You have to make sure you have the copy that has everyone's signature on it. And also, some of these attorneys, some of them are not even attorneys. You have to make sure that this is an attorney that has been and is currently admitted to the bar in the state in which you're doing the business. In other words, California, New York, Florida, wherever you might be. You have the right to ask for that attorney's credentials. And if you're suspicious of that attorney, it's not a good thing. But you also go Google that attorney's name and look them up on the bar. In every state in the US, and I'm not sure how it is in Jamaica, but I'm sure they have a website for the Jamaican bar. The attorney is listed, and that is because his license is current and he's practicing law. The other thing to do is to make sure you're hiring an attorney who is versed in entertainment law. Don't go to a personal injury attorney and expect him to handle your immigration papers or your entertainment law papers. Don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the person was an entertainment lawyer, as far as I know. But there's some other stuff, that I need to just say quickly if I have the time.
Yes, go ahead.
I signed 2 contracts personally as a songwriter, right, with the person with regards to my music that I wrote, right? But that person, the group that I was involved with, we got we had entered into a deal with Island Records in the past for a particular album, and he signed on behalf of the group as our producer.
Wait,
over the island.
The producer signed on the behalf of the group.
Yeah, for the contract.
That's so illegal on so many different levels.
And did the group give the producer any written permission to sign on his behalf, on the group's behalf?
Well, we didn't, not written, but we gave
no.
The
Then there's no verbal anything. There's no verbal, not even an implication to prevent what happened 30 years down the road when everybody start having Alzheimer's. They believe you're somebody like me, smoke too much pot. They think your brain might not work, function. So because of those reasons, there is nothing by word of mouth. Has to be in written document.
Well, I've found that out over the years, But that person received a good amount of money, advance money from Island Records, which we have not seen over the years at all.
Not a scam.
Not a penny.
Yeah. Well. Again, and you were the artist. You were the artist on that record.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are the artist, let me show you what. Let me tell you what the rule is. If you are an artist on the record, and did you write and compose all the songs?
The majority of them, yeah.
Okay, so you are the first owner, and producer cannot assign rights. So, based on that, right, on what the law is, what you can do is take those copies and put it back out. When Island Record approach you, you ask them to show you where them sign over and that them even have any signature.
No, but it's worse than that. Because all of the group that we're involved with, we released 2 albums, one with Island and one before Island, and that person, we had released that album on a specific label with that person, and we have not received any publishing, any royalties whatsoever.
But what I'm telling you,
wait a minute. I'm saying that the songs were reassigned to Trojan Records, right? And they eventually ended up with Universal.
I'm talking about
over 35 years. We have still not received anything. We don't own anything as far as the
no.
In other words,
listen to me. Did you sign anything?
Yeah, no. And I need to explain. I signed 2 contracts with Phil with regards to my songs. With regards to the songs that was released on Island, we didn't sign anything.
Okay, so fine. So if you didn't sign anything with Island, right, as the artist, and Island take it and put it out there in violation. And if Island take it and sell it to Trojan, and then Trojan take it and sell it to whoever, Universal, and you don't have they don't have no paperwork, they can't show an unbroken chain of title, then what I would advise you to do, because every CD is a master, go and take a copy of it and put it back out. When Universal come to you and says cease and desist, you ask Universal to show you where them had your permission. They can't come to you. Their lawyer will try and tell you, oh, we got it from the producer, but that is foolishness. The producer can't assign rights. You are the artist. You are the first owner. And your copyright doesn't leave you until you sign a paper.
I've come to that understanding, but it's easier said than done, because let me still say, for instance, let me give an example. Websites like Facebook and YouTube and so forth, right? And there was another one before that. I forget the name now, but
MySpace,
right? We couldn't put up anything on MySpace with regards to the old songs. In other words, I had a MySpace, I had a Phil Calendar MySpace, okay? I'm talking with regards to the band, the In Crowd. I have a Phil Calendar MySpace, and I uploaded some of my new songs that I produced recently, and that was okay. The minute I put up anything to do with the old songs, they just take them off.
Yeah, because
take them down, and I was threatened to in breach of copyright law and all kind of stuff.
No. That is intimidation. I'm telling you how to switch that round, right? You are the artist. You singing it, right?
Yeah.
Are you singing anybody else's lyrics that them write?
No.
So and did you sign anything with any record company saying that they own the copyright?
No.
So what you need to do, tell ASCAP or whoever telling you to take it down, I am the artist. I'm pleased to ask them to show the contract with me.
Well, there was an option on the pages on those websites that allowed me to contest the reasons for them taking it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Did
when I went that route, they threatened me even more. And
that's
what they do.
I just been through that. Here's what they do. They have the burden of proof. Your Honor, I own this car. Here's the registration, where it come from the dealer. And this is my car. Here's the paperwork. You say you own the copyright to this Island. Yeah. We own the copyright to it. Well, Island kind of make it bad for themselves with the case law where them went against Bob Marley, because they had a contract that Bob Marley said work for hire. When you turn that around now, is the same rule apply. They have no contract with you. Where is the contract with you? And the same thing happened with me in France. They don't have no contract with me, and if I didn't sign anything, that means you don't own anything. A producer cannot assign rights. Simple as that.
Okay, but what I'm saying, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place, because with regards to the older songs, there's nothing absolutely I can do with them No, in terms of any production aspect at all. I have to leave it alone.
Not based on this new law. Did you see that that link that I say anybody in this forum about all rights revert back to all artists and every major record company now is nervous.
Posted it on the Reggae Business Talk Show page.
I'll send Phil the link to that page so he can check it out. But
yeah,
go on, Scientist.
you got it, General. You got the link that I sent you.
It's on the like page.
It's on the like page, yeah.
Okay, so based on that law, because a bunch of artists went through the same thing as you, they didn't understand what was going on. Part of the majority of the contract written in English, but they used this one little word that was written in Martian language that is only Martian people understand. Because of that, now what the Supreme Court now wanted to say throw all those contracts because Aretha Franklin and all these people get screwed. So now I think you have until what 2016 to go back and claim your masters.
2016, yeah.
Yeah, something like that to go back and claim back your master from, and all the major record companies to Capitol Record, they don't know what to do now.
So
what about Trojan?
What about what?
Trojan.
Well, here's what the one of the problem is with these record companies. Just say you license your stuff originally to whoever. Then Trojan, then that record company sell to Trojan. Well, if they only licensing your stuff, then they can't sell your stuff to a third party unless there's something in writing that says them sell it into a third party. That they can do that. And if them sell it to a third party, it's not that first owner supposed to take all the money and push it in his pocket because you sell other people intellectual property, what you probably do have the thing to do. What these guys banking on, most of these artists is illiterate to what's supposed to happen and what the proper procedure is. So it doesn't matter who see if you sell it to Trojan. Well, then Trojan bought a stolen car, and then now Trojan got rid of it and sell it to Universal. But Universal again bought stolen car. You can't come up to me and say, I own this Lamborghini and I'm selling it for $1 or 100,000. Hey, show me how you own it. I ain't buying this thing. And they call that due diligence under the law. That they have the responsibility to make sure whatever they're buying from the person that's selling it and the person who's selling it own it.
Yeah, there's
Go ahead.
Say that again.
Does that law cover that, Scientist? This new Masters law? Does the new law regarding the Masters, does that cover that?
Well, yeah, if you read in what it says there, it shows that all rights revert back to the artist. And even in Jamaica, own copyright law, I think all rights revert back to the artist after X amount of time.
It's really a shame to all these great artists, you know. It's really a shame to do this to some of these great artists, honestly. You know.
One more thing, if I may.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The companies Trojan and another company that we were involved with. I don't know what they did if they signed over the contract, the catalog, our catalog to where or what. But they reissued the songs again. Recently on a double box set CD, right? And the songs are becoming even more popular again, the older songs. In other words, they're selling, and we have not
making
received not even a penny from.
It go back to what I'm saying to you, and again, you must go on the Jamaica copyright website thing and read what the law is. It's not I say it; it's a whole world signed this. The first owner, right, is the people who create the music, and that person is the only person that can grant permission to anybody else to manufacture, do whatever. To the fact that there is no contract, then you by default, by automatic, is still the rightful owner. Never ever the person who went inside the studio and paid all the bills. I know a lot of producers don't want to hear this part because they thinking, I went in the studio, I paid everything to everybody, and I now own it. Intellectual property right doesn't work like that. So to the fact that none of these people has any contract with you and they're using your profile, and let me ask you, is your name on the record?
My name is on the record as a writer, and the group
okay.
name is on the record.
So here is what.
Scientist. Phil Sen sign a contract. I wonder if them duplicate him signature.
He didn't sign anything in the first place.
But that can be easily proven because you cannot write the name exactly the same way twice.
No, listener, I'm just saying probably he has been all hostage. I remember later Jill General say you can sign a contract on one paper and the next side they don't sign it, but them can use that and put it yes.
But here's what
Trojan can say, okay, Phil signed over his rights to the so-called person that he talking about, and that's where the problem is. He has been all hostage right now.
Well, yeah, but here's what. You see that second page we're talking about? What I tell artists to do is to initial it. Initial it right in the middle of whatever them write. So they can go copy it and paste. But no, then get smart with the right? And then if that page is not initialed, that means you know about it, then it can be looked in as a page that's been altered.
But Phil never signed any contract, did you?
Yeah, if Phil never signed any
so
contract,
they couldn't have his signature anywhere.
Then automatically
signed something. He said he signed something.
What did you sign, Phil?
I take it at the time that when the person approached me, right?
Yeah.
He just wanted me to sign a contract with regards to my songwriting aspects. So I signed it over as a songwriter.
Did you read over the document at the time?
No, I read it, but at the time I didn't understand half of what was there.
Right.
Okay. Let me ask.
Years after, I had a copy of the contract years after. And because I was more enlightened the years after, I realized I made some serious mistakes in.
Hold up. What did you find out after you woke up to what you were actually signed what you actually signed?
Yes, good. As far as I understand, there may be more, but I understood that there was something to do with PRS.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he shouldn't be collecting that money. Right, but let me ask it this way: is there any record out there where you never signed any contract with, or is there any other record that's on Universal that you never signed any contract with?
They didn't sign any more contracts aside.
Okay.
The only contract I signed was.
Yeah, but listen to the question: is there any release that's out there on Universal that you never signed any contract with?
No.
No, so you signed. So everything that Universal has, you have a contract with. They have a contract with you.
No, I don't have a contract with them.
The producer before them. The producer before them.
Yeah.
Did you have a contract with that producer before they sell it to whoever?
No.
No, you don't have no contract. Well, here's what.
No.
If there is no contract,
the only other contract we had was the island one, but we didn't sign.
Okay. Well, to the fact that there is no contract, you are still the default owner. What they need to prove that you signed it, with the same way the court rule against Bob Marley because Chris Blackwell would produce a contract that he signed this work for hire, they now need to prove that you signed this contract. So if you never sign it, based on the Berne Convention, you are still the copyright holder. The only way a copyright leaves you is when you sign a document that says, I'm stupid and I'm signing this and I'm not leaving my grandkids anything.
So can he do self-representation? Can he represent himself?
What these lawyers will do, they will fire off a motion 12 o'clock in the night when you're sleeping. And if you don't catch it in time, then they ruin on default.
So really and truly, he needs representation then.
Yeah, and this is where what I was trying to get probably JCAP or JCAP to do is to assemble a team of lawyers that work on these artists' behalf. Right, that the JCAP can go back to registering your stuff with them, because if you register your stuff with them and they try to collect on it, and when they're said, well, no, I mean, whatever, their law is going to say, so where's that contract? Where is the contract? And now they have to show the contract. The producer need a contract with the artist before he even release anything.
You know, I feel to go university and study entertainment law. I'm telling you.
I've been studying.
Scientists,
I'll be.
you need to go to law school. You need to go to law school. I'm not even joking.
Hey, look here, sister. I was the.
Do you have a bachelor's?
No, I was the embarrassment to the family, because I start growing dreadlocks, I start smoking weed, I wouldn't wear the uniform of a court. I was the unruly one, so I didn't fit in. They don't want lawyers like me to tell the court that them don't know what they're doing.
In California, in the state of California, you can do your law degree online. It's the only state in the country that allows that, so you have no excuse.
Yikes! I don't know how to put on.
No, if I can jump in here for a second. This is the reason why this show has come about, because I'm glad Phil is on the show to talk about, and there's a couple of acronyms and words that Phil has used, which brought us back to the 70s, 80s, and now we know why so many of our foundation musicians and artists and composers are left out in the cold with nothing. And it goes back to the days where just by listening to Phil, the producers of the day were the one, back in the days of PRS, they were registering these music, and were registering it in their own name. They weren't. This is why you didn't find any artist name. I mean, you take a group like the Tamlins, who have backed so many artists over the years, and you look at one record and you don't see their names on the back of it.
And that's
right. So this is why. It's the reason why I want the young artists that is tuned in to pay close attention, because this is what this is about. I mean, you can see the uphill battle that the foundation artists like Phil has. You see the uphill battle that scientists had to go through, and it's still going through. You know. So what we're trying to do is to reverse what's going on. And if we can get every show we can get one artist that can call in. And I really would love any artist that's listening to in our like page on the Facebook page, tell us your story. Tell us your story. If through this program you learned something new and you went to JCAP and you signed up your music, tell us about it, because we want to hear the good luck stories. You know, we want to hear the stories that are encouraging, because again, the thing for me personally is I do not want the young generation coming up of musicians out of Jamaica to make the same mistake all over again.
But this happening all over, you know. It's happening right now as we're speaking in R&B. It's happening in hip hop. So much for them in America.
But if you go back to listen to what a lot of what Phil says, when he got a contract back in that time, I read it, but I didn't understand what it says. And as the years went by, I kind of fully understand what this thing was all about. So I'm saying to all the artists, and managers, because I'm seeing a lot of managers who are managing artists and they don't know the first thing about royalties and copyrights and all that.
Yeah.
So I would say to all the young artists, if you have someone approach you, want to be your manager, do some background research on them. See what their failures are. See what their success stories are. And then go from there.
To strengthen your point, don't sign anything with any manager that's saying he can be a manager and a booking agency and collect your money. In California, that's legal. It's a conflict of interest.
Know what you're signing.
Don't do that. If your manager going to collect your publishing money, he could bump you off. Right?
Which is what.
Repeat that again, scientist.
Do not sign anything with any manager that he must collect your royalty or your publishing money. Keep it separate. It's a direct conflict of interest. He could get rid of you. He could bump you off.
You
and
both.
now
Which is what seems to have happened in the olden days.
Yes.
But it's
That's
happening
exactly
now.
what happened.
I simply say that everyone is supposed to be knowledgeable to a certain degree, and you're supposed to be in control of your own business. Even though you may hand it over to someone to handle your affairs, it's very important for you to be clued up and wide awake as to what's going on.
Yeah. Lady G, this is why we need to get one of these lawyers on board, you know. Because
Yeah, we do need a lawyer on board to give the proper legal advice.
Pull some
We're not
strings.
allowed to give legal advice.
We already have one.
To take the case and to pursue the case.
Yeah, can I say something?
Go ahead.
First of all, I'm speaking on behalf of myself.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I never had a clue what performing rights was and publishing. Not a clue.
Most of us didn't.
You see?
No.
And that was my downfall. I don't know about the artists, the nowadays artists. If they are aware, I think they should be. Based on
most of them are getting aware.
Yeah, because of the mistakes that people like us made in the past. But I'm saying, how many artists now, young musicians, young singers coming up, what's the ratio of them knowing, understanding what you're entitled in terms of performing rights and publishing?
Let me explain this to you. I just talked to a artist that was introduced to me by Trevor Castell. He played beat for Shabba Rankin, this one, that one, all the hit artists them that you see. He played the beat on it. But he don't know that because he created the beat, nobody didn't tell him what to play, that he owns that beat. He thought he just get that one money and the record company pay him for it, and that's their money. No, because if one of those beat that you play ever get into a video game, it go on a toilet paper wrapper that in time somebody pull it, you hear your music start to play, it's not the record company supposed to get that money.
Hey, you never know.
Your wife, you're new nowhere with music.
Listen, we got about 10 minutes before I draw it to a close, and I want to say to Phil Calendar, Phil, is there anything else you would like to say to us?
Just that what can we do? It looks like a impossible thing, but what can we do to make artists, singers, the young ones? Because when I was a young artist, I was very excited about the music, and all I cared about was if this guy come to me as a producer and he could get my song out there. I was good with that. So I'm saying, and I don't know if it's that any much different. No,
it's same thing. It hasn't changed.
It haven't changed from 4 years.
I would disagree. I would disagree that it's not the same thing. Some of it is still the same thing. A lot of the younger artists nowadays are getting far more proactive in looking about and registering their music. So I wouldn't say, because remember, when a company like JCAP was formed in 1999, they have only 100 members. Today, JCAP have over 2,000 members.
Well, you know something, JCAP should be, we need to get a JCAP member on board next time, and JCAP them should be, because they're getting heavy promotion through us and educate, they're not telling the artists. I mean, we have the worldwide coverage where everybody listening to us, and these artists need to join them society. As plain simple as that.
Plain and simple as that.
What you need to do, what's your name again, man? Sorry, I'm bad with names.
Phil.
Calendar. Yeah. Hear what you do. Any record is out there that you don't have no contract, take a copy it, make some and start, sell it. Sell it for yourself. Whenever them tell you stop, any record out there that you see that you don't have no contract with, make copies of it and start to sell it for yourself.
And register
I
it
can
first
do that?
before you do so. Register it. Yes, you can.
Get the money.
Yeah, you
and
can.
register it before you put it before you put it out.
Does he have to put a different record label on it?
He put him on record label on it and put it
his own thing.
back
Put his
out.
own,
Right.
Calendar Records.
And then because based on the Jamaica law, the copyright holder is the one who can do that, not the record company, not the producer. I know they hate in this part of the section. They don't, please scientists, please don't tell producers, they don't educate, don't blow a cover. No, 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 no. Once your pseudonym, your professional name appears on it, it's not me. Please, people, it's not me. I'm just echoing what Bernie Convention says.
I love that
then you
word.
are the default automatic person.
I love
first
that.
holder of any rights.
Pseudonym.
My name appears not only as the artist, the songwriter, but as the producer on all of the songs.
Then you have every right to
Well,
sell
good.
it.
I'm executive producer along with the other producer on all of
Phil,
the songs.
I have a question for you, Phil. The songs in question we're talking about, is this as solo songs or is it the group?
Both solo songs and the group.
No,
Well,
scientists.
good,
In
you
the
have the
case,
back of the group down here.
scientists. In the case of the group, if he's going to re-record the group or the group is going to re-record the songs, how much does each individual person of the group play into the whole scheme of things in terms of re-recording and putting it back out?
Well, not re-record. Get the exact same copy.
And
If he has
release
it back out.
And
Yes.
I cannot be sued.
Your name is all over it.
They didn't sign anything.
Hey, look here. They didn't sign anything, and I'm just telling you what the law said. It's not I write the law.
Your name
Once
is all
your
over it.
professional name is on it, your pseudonym is on it.
Exactly.
Right? You are the first copyright holder, not the person who went inside the studio and spent his money. In the case of Fitzroy, where Fitzroy say, I want the bass player to play this, I want this, and they played it exactly the same way, then Fitzroy, you'd have to come to Fitzroy. In your case, where you are the musician, you are everything, this producer didn't tell you what to do, the only thing this person do was finance it. He is the executive producer, and then you cannot become a full producer when your statutory rate is only 3%. So you can say you own this entirely to yourself when you're only supposed to get 3%. So get the exact same copy.
Yep.
Put them back out.
Register them before you do so.
Yeah, register.
Yeah,
them.
register them back. You put them back out. Then they're going to come and challenge you.
Yeah.
You said to them, please to show me the contract that I signed.
Then you got them in a situation.
It won't even go to a trial. Because you're going to tell when you answer, they're going to write you, and in your answer, you're going to tell to the judge that there's no contract. And you just put the law in front of the judge. The judge have to follow the law.
Yeah.
You know, please to show.
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, scientist.
Yeah, can I ask one last question?
Go ahead.
With regards to the money that was lost, that we did not receive in the past, is that considered lost?
Not retroactive.
No back royalties. You can collect on back royalties.
It's not retroactive, so depends on the amount of years you want to claim.
I think they're only allowing you to go back like 5 years, which I don't believe in that.
7 years. 7 years.
7 years.
You see, that's wrong because they get to keep the money.
Yeah.
But
But
they
that's
see
the law.
it shouldn't be like that.
But
it doesn't matter.
The Berner Convention need to change that law.
It doesn't matter. This is when politicians and the conflict of interest with the law come in. Here's why it shouldn't stand. They collected the money. It's not like they didn't collect it.
That's why I'm saying, scientists, you as a man who's advocating for the Berne Convention, you need to write them and tell them to make it retroactive.
Well, here's what needs to happen. All the members them need to say, we don't want this. I dictate to them, congressman, we don't want you telling us when our copyright over. You can't tell the taxman when it's 5 years past.
They know the outcome of that.
Right? So this is what needs to happen. Get an exact same copy, put it out and where you call it eBay, sell them as collection. And then anybody try to sell it, you must stop sell it. Or please to show me a contract where me and you have an agreement.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22, man.
I tell you what, on that note, we're going to end the show. And I want to thank everyone for being part of this show today. Whatever we didn't talk about in this show, we will be talking about in the other show, which is going to be in about 2 weeks. I want to thank Phil Calendar for accepting our invitation to appear on this show to share his story. And, you know, we hope you'll come back on this show and, share further stories if you so wish, yeah?
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad I could be a part of it.
Thanks, Phil.
Let me ask you a quick question. How's it coming?
Phil, if you know another artist, Phil, please tell them about the show.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
On board.
Tell me something very, very quickly.
Yes,
How is
man.
it going with your album? How's the album going?
It should come out shortly. There was a little setback, but it's cleared up now. So anytime.
Is the album registered?
Yeah, we're under new management, so we're,
But it's registered.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more trick, Phil. One more trick in the book that I must teach you.
Yeah.
At the time when you probably did those records, it was only phonograph.
Yeah.
And it probably didn't have any language at that time that's saying derivative of the master. And there's already case law where judges said no to the record company. The guy couldn't know that he was going to have digital. So if them releasing it digitally, you can now have an argument based on case law that says I only grant you the right phonograph.
That's very, very important.
Okay. Information galore. I want to thank Fitzroy Francis for accepting our invitation to come on the show. Maximum respect, Fitzroy Francis.
Thank you very much, 10-Star General and all the panel. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm open whenever again.
Yes, my brother. Yes, and did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, 100%. 100. We're knowledge. Where the seed of knowledge is sown, you know.
Yes.
There's always a pleasure for me, cause I don't sing, and I don't play instrument, but music is in my head because I come from Waterhouse, so music.
Well, you have an important role. You get people in the studio. You can tell them what to play, and them can execute so it make you a writer and a creator. Simple as that.
Right,
okay, let's move over to Lady General. Lady General, where I say?
Yes, I'd like us to talk about, if we could, next time, scientists, the Bob Marley and the work for hire scenario, to explain to the artists, the reason why they should not do that type of agreement with any producer or any entity, so to speak. But I have thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I've learned so much. And thank you for having me, and thank you to everyone that participated, and thank you to all the folks in the chat room and all of those listening on the outside via the TuneIn app.
Yep. Roddy Campbell.
Lady General, before you go, Lady General, you can imagine if you wasn't here to cool out some of this testosterone.
Yes,
we need a couple females,
Yes, indeed.
Oh gosh. Roddy Campbell.
Yes, in closing for me, it's me, and when it comes on to the youths and coming up out of the whole Jamaica where the injustice was being done, and listening to Phil's story, it really breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart to see that we have such creative people coming out of Jamaica, and so much advantage was taken of them simply because they didn't understand to the fullest a few words written down on a piece of paper. And it has come back. We have stories after stories after stories. So the young up and coming artists is pretty much my focus, because the young people, I don't want to see them come up and make the same mistake. So again, anything you hear on this show, don't take our word for it. Go research it yourself. If you're in certain countries where certain copyright companies are, and primarily I'm talking about Jamaica, I encourage all Jamaican creators of music to go visit the JCAP office, get some information. Some information is better than none at all. So go and get some information as to how you can protect your creative rights. And let's switch this around. Let's switch it around one by one person at a time. And beautiful show. I enjoy the show. Information. I have my pen and paper. You learn something new every single time. Yeah. And I say much love and respect to everyone on the panel, to all the listeners. Tune in and listen. Happy Easter to everyone. And if you know an artist that is in Jamaica that they haven't heard this, please pass the message on, because if each of us pass the information on to somebody else, then we can start a network. We can start a network called Know Your Rights.
I want to go to thank you, Roddy Campbell, for being part of the show also, and I want to go to Christopher Hills, legend.
I know about that.
Legend.
I'd just like to say that this program is really important. I'm really pleased after today that we are 100% in the law, and in fact we're probably 100% better in what we do, and we are always willing to give people advice even if they're not connected with us. So if anyone wants any free advice, they can come and contact me through Facebook or whatever means through the website.
There you go. Thank you so much, Chris. And did you enjoy yourself?
It was good fun. It's sad. I really, really do feel for Phil. It's disgusting. Yeah. Disgusting.
And this is the whole point of this show. I want to come to Duza. Duza.
Yeah, man, WD. Well, like I said, man, this is what it was about. If you love your favorite artist, I mean, you can't stand there and look at them. Your favorite artist is getting ripped off and stand by his side and say, yo, I love some of these artists. How come they get ripped off so much? So, thank you to General and Lady General, Fitzroy and everybody, scientists, Christopher, Ruddy, because it's an important thing for everybody. It's not just for us. It's it's not for me. I don't really care if I'm on here or not. The main thing is that the people out there have heard now. You go research what you need to and go make sure you don't sign contracts, and just make sure you smart. Make sure before you do anything, before you run, make sure you have your shoes proper. Make sure your clothes tight. Make sure you don't be tripping over yourself, because at some point it's going to come back to bite you. Yep.
Yes. And I want to come
respect
to
everybody.
You're welcome, Duza. Thank you so much for being part of this show. Your input is valuable. I want to come to the scientist, the legend.
Oh boy.
Icon.
Well, I'm known as the tribesman, the Shaka Zulu tribesman, and I'm not afraid to push my spear up the devil's ass.
Behave yourself. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
I don't know how to sit around and let injustice stand. I don't know how to do it. I can't sit around and watch people pain and suffering and don't do anything about it. I feel compelled. I feel driven. So if anybody think, oh, he's just venting on the show, well, I'm venting for the brethren like we here, just come here with him frustration.
Continue, scientist. Continue. I'm listening.
You're right. Him play all these hits, and when I look Bob Marley Estate, the liar them rip him off with work for hire. Him can't collect any more money off of some of them biggest selling album. It's heartbreaking. It's very, very heartbreaking. And I hope after today, these record companies, right, will start to pay attention to a record company like Kofi, right? To give what's duly to the artist, and don't be greedy. There's enough money for everybody. Just take your little 1 cent and be satisfied. And again, no lawyer-assisted criminology. I know you are listening to the show and taking notes. Man, who cares?
Thank you for being on the show, scientist.
Thank you, Lady G. Thank you, General. Thank you for all the members on the panel. Let's come up with some more weird so I can beep up the you know what.
Well, I'm gonna
chase them away, as Bob said. Chase those crazy harlots out of town.
I'm gonna end the show, end the show now. And one of the reasons why I kind of decided to do this show was because I was heartbroken, to say the least. It's heartbreaking, you know. Sometimes it even moves you to tears when you hear of certain artists, you know, stories. The stories I've heard, you know, off air, you know, that some of the artists didn't even want to mention or share with us on air, you know. I get to hear these stories, you know, and I sometimes wonder, how in God's name can I give back? What can we do? And just waking up in the morning after a conversation, you know, I say to myself, you know, in conversation with Lady General, we share ideas and we talk about, you know, the conversations we have, you know, why not do a Reggae Biz talk show? And this is the only way we can give back to you, the artist, to arm you with as much information, you know, money you would have spent to see a lawyer and so on and so forth. We're giving you that information right here free of charge. All you have to do, if you are listening, you know, share this information with an artist out there who may need this information. You know, so many artists who, you know, have journeyed through the years after 30 years in the business, and just off air, me and them talking, reasoning with each other, and I'm asking them, have you, you know, copyrighted your stuff? Have you done this? Have you done that? And it's like, no. Why? Why have you hustled the business? This is why reggae music doesn't have a business. We've been hustling for so long. It's like each day you're wondering where your next meal is coming from. Weird. A producer, you know, approaches you and wants you to sing on one of their tracks. How much you gonna charge me? You know, $500, you know, dollars or whatever it is. So you receive that money. Yeah, the money goes into your pocket. You've sung the song. You're not going to own the rights to that song. You've just hustled it.
Yep.
And this is what we're talking about. Getting due to what is yours. Whatever is yours, take it. It is supposed to. One of the biggest artists that I have so much respect for is Enos McLeod. I can mention his name on air. Okay, it goes back so many years. He has copyrighted all his stuff. And if anything happens to him tomorrow, his children and his children's children's children will be secure for the rest of their life.
That's right.
That's what it's about. That's it. That's all.
That's what this whole program is about.
And everybody knows the stories of, you know, Junior Bowles, who's contributed greatly to the industry. He's nothing more than a vagrant on the street now. That can't be right.
It's disgraceful and shameful.
That cannot be right.
No.
Yeah, again, I think the Jamaican government has that responsibility, because the only thing that put Jamaica on the map is reggae, Rasta, and what else? You understand? And the singers and players. So I think the Jamaican government has a responsibility that when them see people like Junior Bowles lying a trash can, assemble a team of lawyers, go after the money.
Out there. Yeah. Don't let them be like that, man. That's
don't let it be like that. Go assemble a team of lawyers. It's easy, because if I had the authority, I'd have been already assembled a team of lawyers. Go out on all these artists, wherever the money is, go find other lawyers in all these other countries and place lawsuits and collect the money. Hey, the government should get their tax revenue out of it too. I wouldn't have Junior Bowles lying on the street while the music's still selling.
Imagine. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
a man like Earl Smith will make sure that man there, make sure I'm alright, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
yeah, man. Smith make sure Junior Bowles alright, man. The Kiewa, the man that can. Yeah,
man.
It's
the only one who stick by him until now. So big up China Smith for that.
Yeah, man.
Big up China Smith.
All of the producers who make sure, who are doing the right thing out there, you know.
So I'm going to end the show now, guys, and thank you all so much for being part of the show. Phil Calendar, once again, thank you so much, legend.
Yeah, man, thanks. I'm glad to be here. Just wanted to say that I was very honored to be asked to be on the show, and to tell you the truth, I've learned so much, you know, from what was said. I think it's going to be very beneficial for not just for me, but for the group and other people that I know. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
And one of the things I want to say, Phil, if there is any way that personally you can link up with scientists to have a chat with him, I think you should do that.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, man, I will.
Yes, send me them back them copies because do some more masters. You take them, sell them, put it back out, and split up the money with you and the group.
Yeah, thanks. Yep. Yeah, man.
All right then. So
and
thank you guys.
Just said so.
All right, we're gone.
One last thing. Last thing. Just wanted to give thanks to God the Almighty. Can be done every time. And that justice will prevail.
Yes.
As we know because God is in control.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
true.
Amen.
Exactly. There
Have
you go.
a very good Easter.
I feel it now. Go and blaze a chalice right now.
Blaze a chalice.
hey, Fitzroy.
Yes, I am.
The gritty bun. Blaze a chalice.
All right, guys, we're gone, yeah?
All right, everybody have a blessed Easter weekend.
All right, then.
Peace.
Stay blessed. Stay blessed.
All right.
Yes, that was the panel right there. Many thanks to each and everyone who listening on the outside. People logged in from Germany, Italy, France, US. Yes.
Yeah, just personal thank you again, man, for the show. I hope we enlighten people, and I think we had our next good show again.
Yes, definitely. All right, super.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant show. I fully enjoyed myself, and I want to thank all my guests who appeared on the show. And once again, please do remember you can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about this show. Tell an artist who may need this information. I want to thank Ali Roots who logged in to listen to this show. Maximum respect. I got to bless up Christopher Hills. I got to bless up Daddy Lion Shandell, 8184. Gonna bless up 8454 9835. Lady General, I want to bless up the Reggae Man, Sharon, Tornado, and anybody else on the outside. Once again, this show is about you, the artist, arming you with as much information as possible. You know, our joy will be to see you prosper. That's the whole point of this show. I'm going to end the show, and do remember you can check out the Reggae Biz Talk Show like page on Facebook. Check out the information there, and please spread the word. If you believe in the show, please spread the word. It's very, very important. I want to thank Phil Calendar for appearing on this show, and we're going to give you the opportunity also, just before I leave, to call in and make or pose any questions you may have. Okay, and in order to do that, the only information you will need is Skype. Okay, the Skype ad is a live conversation show. You can add us on Skype, and when we do our next show, you'll be able to call in and pose any questions that you may have about the reggae business, and we'll be here to dissect and answer those questions. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for logging in, and we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna leave you with a track by the Scientists. It's called The Intergalactic Vampires. All right, I'm out of here. One love.
The Scientist rids the world of the intergalactic vampires killers. Genius scientist Rusty Steele is in his lab, busy sampling his newest invention, a hybrid plant grown on planet Mars he has dubbed Jolly Green Giant that makes everyone who partakes...
I want to thank Christopher Hills and Fitzroy Francis for appearing on the panel. Maximum respect. We're out of here.
Dropping on the table. For years, the intergalactic vampire has been injecting drugs into the hearts of innocent people. Standing in the way of this evil vampire is a single brave soul, the Scientist. The Scientist brings nothing more to the table than a love of mankind and a talent for reggae beats. But these tools are more deadly than they appear. Some may say that mere humans cannot possibly defeat intergalactic vampires, but with a little creativity and a lot of hard work, the dream that the Scientist rids the world of evil just might come true. This adventure is explored in the Scientist Reggae album, a music collection containing a story like no other. In the Scientist album, listeners learn of such evil creatures as the intergalactic vampire witch, the intergalactic wolf and intergalactic Frankenstein. These terrifying creatures are awful intergalactic vampires. It is up to the scientist to use its musical powers to make the world safe once more. Fortunately, this is not a mission that the scientist needs to take all on his own. Along the way, he will be able to snatch up several crewmates, each with their own unique power.
Hey, this is a big bad Junior Cat digging up the Stockade Radio. You don't know, seen 10-star general, seen UK across the world for boys and girls.
Guitar serves as an effective weapon against evil. Michigan and Smiley have plenty to add with their stores of knowledge surrounding biological warfare that hit them with diseases. They are often joined by Bunny Whaler, the expert on psychological warfare. The scientist also frequently teams up with Kyle Scott, a top-notch intergalactic vampire killer. Josie Whale serves as the radar jammer, taking his DJ skills to the next level. Super Cat, also known as Wild Apache, consistently displays great talent when working with cruise missiles. His buddy RAS Michael is also happy to lend a hand as the chief justice. The scientist's team is rounded out by Earl Chinook Smith and the Meditations, a group of musicians who work hard to keep the musical military protected, meanwhile reaching out as diplomats. With such a talented and versatile team, there's no limit on what the scientist will accomplish. The battle against the intergalactic vampire certainly will not be an easy one. But if the citizens of Earth get on board with their reggae protection, the evil intergalactic vampires will eventually be forced into retreat.
Stockade Radio to the universe. You're listening to the People's Station. Stockade Radio, a division of Stockade Promotions. To the universe. A proud member station of the Conscious Partners Network.